afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome into Delta Force's Warfare Showdown. It's time to blast off, folks. I am so excited about today's event. You're not going to want to miss all the crazy action we have in store. Folks, it's a brand new update that just dropped with Delta Force. That's what we're celebrating today, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. I'm Goj. I'm going to be your host today, and before we go anywhere, I got to do the usuals. I got to remind you that if you haven't downloaded Delta Force yet, you've got to get your hands on this new update. There's actually kind of a lot going on with this update, so go get your hands on the game. Of course, on PC, which you can get via the website launcher down below, as well as on Steam and our Google Play games to play it on PC. But also, Delta Force has launched on mobile, allowing for cross-platform progression. You can experience the ultimate AAA FPS on mobile. Immerse yourself in literally PC-level graphics quality. So make sure you compare the graphics between your PC and mobile. It's actually outstanding. So make sure you go download it on Steam and the official Delta Force launcher, but now you can also get it on the iOS App Store and the Android Google Play Store. So go get involved in Delta Force now. And I also need to remind you that you need to follow Delta Force on all major socials for a lot of reasons. To be frank, there's a lot going on in the Delta Force ecosystem. I think we've got 4 or 5 different events this week, all here live on Twitch and all of our other live streaming platforms. So one, you're going to want to watch all of these amazing broadcasts, so make sure you drop a follow wherever you're watching me right now. I think we're live on just about every single one you can think of. X, YouTube, Twitch. I think we're on TikTok as well, Facebook. We are live all over the place. But also, there's chances to get involved in events like this one today. We've got community members getting involved in these types of events just by being active in our Discord. So make sure you go join that official Discord. Maybe you can find some friends to play Delta Force with as well. There's a ton of people in there, nearly like 500,000 at this point, if not more than that. So get involved in the Discord. There's a lot of information out there, fandoms and all types of things that you can get involved in. But speaking of today, and I think a lot of what we want to get into today, we've got a lot of rewards, all right? We've got Twitch drops active right now all across all of the streams streaming Delta Force. There's a lot of folks that have it active. A lot of the players today have it active as well during our live stream. So go get your official Twitch drops right now while we speak. All you have to do is just literally watch the broadcast. Look at all these amazing rewards. They're right below my camera right now. You got some gear tickets if you're a fan of Operation, some armament vouchers as well, and then some amazing skins from weapon skins to vehicle skins and everything in between. You're going to want to get these Twitch drops. So make sure you're watching on Twitch, and maybe if you prefer to watch on a different platform, just have Twitch open on the side. Just make sure that your Delta Force account is attached to your Twitch account in order to redeem these rewards. Okay, a lot to go through and a lot more to get through, but before I do, I've got to bring in my amazing co-host for the day. You know her, you love her. It's Spider Tiff back in the booth with me yet again for another Delta Force broadcast. Tiff, how are you feeling today about some more Delta Force action?
Hey, I'm super amped, let me just tell you, because I was up last night watching it as everyone was updating, and I have so many friends and coaches across the world in a variety of FPS games that have just been so hyped on Delta Force, so seeing them dive back into it and test all of the new things out throughout the past few hours has been really fun to see.
It's been a ton of fun to see because we've got people grinding operations, we got people grinding warfare, but today it's all about some warfare chaotic action because we are trying to frankly blow some things up. So let's get into the format for today and break down what everybody's going to be seeing here on main broadcast. And maybe if you're watching our streamers POVs, you're going to be seeing a lot of this. Now, first and foremost, we are playing 20v20, a total of 4 maps. So we've got 5 teams of 4 on each side. Our 2 teams, Team Chaos, Team Blast, are going to be going against each other here with our 4 maps. We're going to be playing these 4 maps. It's really 2 maps, but 4 matches. We're going to let both teams attack and defend on each of our matches today. And then they're going to be playing essentially a race to 1,200 kills. It might take 3, it might take 2. It'll likely take 4 total maps being played to get to 1,200 kills. Now, here's the interesting thing part about today is that frankly, our teams are just trying to race these 1,200 kills as fast as humanly possible. And if they get to that 1,200 kills, that team is the one to trigger an incredible explosion that's going to happen here on main broadcast. If you don't know what I'm talking about, frankly, that's kind of the point. You're not going to want to miss this. I'm not kidding. We've got an actual explosion we're going to trigger here in broadcast. A very, very cool thing that I've had a chance to sneak peek. It's sick. So pay attention to that. We're going to be tracking kills throughout the day and see which team will trigger that. But we're going to be changing up the format a little bit per game. So our first game, it is going to be featuring that brand new operator, Nox versus Saniva. So each of our teams are going to be picking a very specific operator for our first game. And in the second game, well, everybody's going to be jumping around the map, moving very quickly, all playing Viren while also only using shotguns. So talk about a little bit of chaos. It's going to be nuts. And then when we get to rounds 3 and 4, you might have seen this in the patch notes in the update here, folks. Commander mode is coming to Delta Force. This is a brand new mode that's coming to Warfare. That's not quite out yet, so you're going to get a chance to sneak peek that with some of our captains being the commanders of their entire squad. I'm talking not just their team of 4, but the entire team, the 20 players on their side. The commander will have some extra special things that they can do. So we'll keep you updated on that, and once we get into it, we'll explain a little bit more, but very, very cool mode. Now, Tev, I'd love for you to take a look at our prize pool here, because yes, we've got some prizes for the teams that potentially will win this thing. So break it down for me of how some of our players maybe get some rewards.
Honestly, this is one of the coolest things, right? Of course, you have the new season Eclipse Vigil. You're going to get a season pass, one for each player on the winning team. But the majority of you guys, well, every time you hear Mandelbrick, you want to go running, especially with those keys. 5 for each player on the winning team. So no shortages here. However, we are going to be tracking those kills throughout our day here, and the top 3 slayers will walk away with an Alienware 27-inch 4K 240 hertz monitor, and oh my god, those things are sick.
I love the breakdown. I love our rewards as per the usual. So you're exactly right. All 20 players of the winning side are going to be getting these rewards. And then our top 3 slayers overall throughout the course of the event from either side are going to get those monitors. Very, very cool stuff. Now let's take a look at some of those teams. We got to talk about some amazing folks that are joining us. And we're going to be starting with Team Blast. Now, this is really fun for several reasons. We've got some community members, some amazing streamers like One Shot Rich competing today, and it was some really cool stuff. But I gotta pull attention to our very first squad here. Our team captain, our commander when we get there, Team Summit 1G leading the charge here. And there's some cool stuff here for multiple reasons. One, Summit back with Delta Force is a ton of fun to watch. So watch out for not only an amazing streamer, but also a fantastic competitor, frankly, from all of the events he's done with Delta Force. But also, I gotta bring attention to our good friend Louise, who is going to be joining us as well, and also streaming on Twitch. Louise, you might know Louise from Louise Moncada from Breaking Bad and a number of other shows that maybe you love, like Better Call Saul is another great show that he's in. He and his brother Daniel are going to be competing today, so we're going to be paying attention to their streams throughout the course of the day. But some great competitors, some great community members, and some great streamers, Tiff, which is a blast to watch.
My thing is, please tell me they're going to be competing against each other. I feel like you can't team up. You've got to have them on the opposing sides, but I'm all about that. You do have Lord McLaren here from Madrid. You have Rogue Monkey, a content creator from Quebec, Canada, plays a modicum of FPS games, and I just love kind of seeing how they bring to the table like something different, right? Adapting throughout that, especially with the new modes you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's take a look at Team Chaos as well, because you're right. On the other side, bottom right-hand corner of this graphic, you can see Mr. Raffle Waffle Squad, which really excited to have them, of course, competing today. But Daniel Moncada is also on that team. So yes, the brothers are against each other. They're on opposite sides, and they're playing with some fantastic streamers. But I got to draw attention as well. He's going to be our commander today for Team Chaos. It's Enders FPS. You probably know Enders as a fantastic Warfare player, and he's brought in a stellar squad as well with OG Smurf, Nox, and Crook. This is definitely going to be one of the top squads today. I can only imagine they are going to be flying, and they are going to be frying, Tiff.
They really are, especially when we've seen them in events in the past here on the Delta Force channel. You know they've already locked in that experience as well. As I'm kind of scrolling through some other names, Metal Gunner, it's wild when I get to look and research new creators, new to me per se, right? And then you find out, and I'm like, oh, they're from Georgia. They're full-time streamers. Congratulations. Me too. Me too, same buddy. Let's link up for Delta Force.
That's exactly right. It's really cool to watch events like this where we've got some amazing, massive streamers, content creators, folks coming in from the general entertainment industry, and then also some new content creators and community members that are joining for the official broadcast. So I'm super pumped about this one. But let's talk a little bit about the maps that they will be playing today. I had mentioned it before. We're playing 2 different maps, but we're playing 4 different matches. So we're going to allow each team to attack and defend on each map. So to start, we're going to be going to the brand new nighttime version of Trenchline, which is pretty dang cool. I've had a chance to check this out already, and nighttime just brings a whole nother ambiance that frankly is a bit scary, but it is a dang good time. I'm excited to see our Nox operators operate on this map as well, because well, they're going to be moving silently and hard to see, which is great. So we're going to be seeing some night vision gear come in, I'm sure, on these first 2 maps, and then we're headed to Threshold, where you're going to see some maybe brand new things that can happen in game, like our breakpoint event that could happen if you call in enough missiles to break some things on the map. Destructive maps, we love them. But to Threshold for the last 2, which is where on Threshold is where we're going to be playing the commander mode. So really pumped about all of the stuff we've broken down to. But how are you feeling? I mean, we've got maps, we got modes, we got brand new updates. What can you tell me about the brand new update? Eclipse Vigil season is here. Not only is mobile here, but a brand new operator with Nox and a ton of other content as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have the new operator Nox that you are going to be seeing, an assault operator that is so stealthy, which matches all the nighttime modes that we're going to be having that are launching. Of course, we do have the new weapons across the board, the K437 assault rifle, the 725 double barrel shotgun, also Dragon's Breath. Anytime people hear that word, they get a little nervous. Well, you should be, right? Because it's going to do some extra damage to your armor, so keep an eye out on that. For Warfare, we have the new engineer item, a flamethrower. As if we didn't have enough fire already talking about it, we're gonna add some more. And let me just tell you, if I'm in the trenches and I see someone running at me with a flamethrower, I am yeeting out the other direction. I'm just gonna go find a hill, grab myself a sniper, and try to combat it that way, because you do not want to be too close for comfort on that. You also talked a lot about the new gear, because with nighttime, you need stuff to be able to see. And in Warfare, of course, we're going to have that NVD helmet to assist with the night vision. But I mean, look, a lot of you out there are the operations grinders, right? So not only does the new gear come out, but all of your scavengers are going to be acting different. So when the lights go down, it's dark out there in Zero Dam, you got to keep an eye out, because even though you're trying to do some more of your contracts, they are going to get feisty.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I love that breakdown, Tiff, of all new things in Eclipse Vigil. We also put out an amazing developer interview with Shadow, our game director, as well. A lot of new content out there. You got to go check that out if you haven't. It's live all over the place. It was a lot of fun to cook up with them. Well, I think our lobby's about to get started, but we need to take a little bit of a deeper dive into this brand new operator, Nox, because we're going to be seeing him a lot in this very first game. So let's roll the video and check him out.
Find the villain.
Welcome. No, your compatibility really impressed me.
Billy de Montbel. Call sign Nox, assault operator. Trained by Havoc, Nox is a seasoned mercenary with rich experience. As a man of few words who prefers to operate independently, his collaboration with GTI is a product of necessity rather than a choice. Specializing in information disruption with proficiency in various combat techniques, he excels in stealth operations. Like a cold dagger, he exposes vulnerabilities in enemy defenses to strike at their throats. Nox's tactical equipment, Silent Assault, consists of an information jammer and sonic jammer. When activated, the disruptors emit sonic interference waves, minimizing Nox's sound propagation and the alert range of enemies. While this interference is in effect, enemy recon tools are unable to pinpoint Nox's exact location.
Allied forces are engaging at objective Bravo.
it calm, they won't have a clue. What a tagline for Nox. Are you kidding me? This operator is so dang cool, Tiff. Talk to me a little bit about Nox's kit before we jump into this very first game. I love the fact that Delta Force is consistently updating this game with new content, not only maps in different nighttime modes, but also new operators that totally change the way the game is played.
I love it. Look, I haven't had a chance to unlock Nox myself yet, but I've been looking around all over Twitch for people that have. And if you're curious, hey, how do I get Nox? Well, you can unlock it in this season's battle pass there, the season pass at tier 15. So you got to get your grind in, unlock it at tier 15. But the package as a whole, something that's really cool is the operator specialty that we've been talking about, deep trauma. Okay. Now there are some differences between the operations mode and warfare, right? In operations mode, enemies damaged by Nox will take longer to use those medical supplies for healing and longer to be revived when downed, right? So you take a lot of these close range engagements. If you want to push or maybe try to get a res on your teammate, no, that operator Nox after he takes you down, that is going to allow you that slower reset time, which can be so critical. Every second matters, right? But if we're going to see warfare today, right, it increases the delay before their health is going to automatically regen when you get out of the fight. So yet again, if you're hyper aggressive and you enjoy just putting down that damage and full sending things, not saying I'm one of them or anything.
Sure.
Just, maybe you are a Nox player, and that's literally just the specialty. You've got the tactical gear, the silent assault, which we were kind of seeing, right? It activates that disruptor. Sure, there are minimal changes between the operations mode and warfare as well, because in operations, you need recon items to detect the disruptor's starting location, but other than that, undetectable. And then in warfare, activates that disruptor that significantly reduces his sound emissions. I'm all about being quiet, right? Well, what did you just say, Ghost? What was the tagline? What was that?
Just silent is necessary is my new tagline. My gosh. I mean, this is such a cool operator, and really excited that Delta Force added them into the game. Folks, we are about to jump into our very first game of the day. And as a quick reminder, you're going to be seeing a lot of Nox in this very first game. It's going to be Nox versus Saniva. So if you haven't had a chance to check out Saniva as well, maybe you haven't unlocked them yet, or maybe you're just dabbling onto Delta Force for the very first time, now's the chance to not only showcase their skills and their kits, but for you to get involved as well. So right before we hop into our very first game, I want to remind you one more time to go get involved on Delta Force. You can download it quite literally on almost every platform you can think of. All right, so you can see it down below right here. You can see it on the Epic Game Store and Steam, of course, as per the usual, and our Delta Force launcher on the website. But now mobile is officially here. We are so pumped about this. Experience the ultimate AAA FPS on mobile, and frankly, just go get it right now on iOS App Store and Android Google Play Store. And I do know that our developers talked about it. Console is also right around the corner. They're still working on it, but it is very, very soon. So make sure you pay attention to all socials like we've talked about before. But you can play Delta Force on almost anywhere right now. And one of my favorite things, Tiff, about this this read here about this ad, because frankly, I think when we talk about Delta Force, we talk about mobile. You hear me say these things often. One of the things you don't often hear with mobile is that it is cross-platform progression as well. So you can actually progress your account through mobile and PC. You can link them. They're kind of all one and the same. They even look the same. I was talking to the Delta Force team, and I've been checking out mobile as well. It looks like PC graphics on mobile, and you can actually play mobile on up to like a 10-year-old device. They were talking about the specs that you could play Delta Force on like an iPhone 6. It's actually unbelievable. It's almost like a nuanced thing that you never see in mobile space. So I'm really pumped about the mobile game as well. But today is all about the warfare. So Tiff, I think as we're about to hop into the very first game, we got to pay attention to that Summit squad. I think we've got Summit Flowers, Booker DeWitt, and then, of course, one of our amazing, it's going to be Louise on that squad, one of our amazing actors who are also content creators as well. And so let's take a look at that team in particular and that whole squad, because, again, I think when you talk about our teams today, it's going to be 5 squads under Team Blast, but the kind of captain, the commander, if you will, of that team is going to be Summit 1G. So they're all going to be looking for him to lead the charge. And for this squad, I mean, talk to me a little bit about some of these players. Obviously, Summit 1G has a ton of experience on, this game and a ton of other FPS titles as well. But also just, I think this squad is going to be one to watch out for to potentially get to our 1,200 kills before the other team, because that's the metric for success today, is just about how fast can we get to 1,200 kills.
Yeah, and I want to see the explosion. So the quicker the better, or just take your time. Regardless, I'll be here waiting for that to happen. And honestly, this team could be incredibly formidable, especially with a lot of the skill and that they've been playing a ton of hours in Delta Force. Anytime you go to YouTube and you kind of like look for a walkthrough or maybe some patch notes, I know Rogue Monkey Jr.'s name keeps coming up for me. It's like, hey, watch my content all day, every day for Delta Force. And that just means like, hey, if you're ingrained in the community, which especially when you're talking about how you can find your new crew to grind Delta Force with, because let's be real, I don't want to play operations solo if I can just get ingrained and find really solid players. Even One Shot Rich over here plays a ton of that operations mode as well. But I want to see that skill carry over to Warfare, because the majority of people that we see that do kind of come over from that side of things into Warfare, they want to play it a little conservative right off first, right? But if we're going into that 20v20, you have to cover a lot of ground. You have got to get aggro, and especially with some of the fun twists that we've put on our different games. Like you mentioned game one, right? Well, aren't we doing Nox versus Saniva? So like you're gonna have, who's getting Nox? Do we know? Have they locked it in yet?
I think it's Team Blast is going to be using Nox, and Team Chaos going to be using Saniva. So it'll be fun to watch these players go kind of against each other with the different operators. But you're right, One Shot Rich is a freak at this game. I mean, low-key,
right?
I had a chance to talk to him after an event we did not too terribly long ago, and was one of our top slayers, one of our top players in the entire event. So excited to see them back. Let's take a quick look at our other squad as well, Team Chaos. Again, we had mentioned them at the top of the the broadcast today. Ender's squad, I think, is probably the top squad on this list for me, at least just off the eye test. I talked to Ender's quite a bit last night. He's excited to compete again. Obviously is a Warfare specialist, and this squad that he's brought in is kind of, it's a list of heavy hitters here, Tiff. They all know this game mode extremely well, and they are going to slay out. So I think not only is he going to be the commander for round 3 and 4, but likely this squad is going to be the top squad on this list. If, of course, our Mr. Raffle Waffle squad doesn't lead the charge. V-Hunk's a great content creator playing with Mr. Raffle Waffles and Julie, part of Mr. Raffle Waffles community. And then, of course, we've got our other brother, Daniel, here competing as well on that team. So some fun squads across the board.
Yeah, but the tough part about this is the last time that you had mentioned that someone was an absolute freak when it comes to the Warfare mode, we saw north of like 80 plus kills coming out from just one map, which I was horrified. And well, I mean, not horrified, but if I was in the lobby, I would have been horrified. Unless they're on my team, then I'm absolutely chilling. Of course, we do have Metal Gunner, who is on a subathon today. So grinding with the community, getting everyone hyped up on Delta Force, Nerveless. We haven't really talked about him just yet today. We has played in a couple of our events in the past here live on the Delta Force channel, a member of Regiment. So big W's all around.
Yeah, exactly. And I do want to call attention to, I think it's Team Blast. NYXC has a competitive squad with WAG, Sirent, Rasta, and SN4R. FX. So take a look at that Lord McLaren squad up here in the middle. I think this is also going to be a heavy hitter team. This is an NYXE like competitive team, I believe. So definitely pay attention to that squad throughout the course of the day. I'll be curious to see if they're able to put up some scores. And then also the main team I was talking about was with WAG, Sirent, and Rasta there in the bottom left. All really talented players. So it's fun because I think with these events, you know, Tiff, we talk about players so often and we have like tons of notes on players and things like that. But end of the day, it's content creators, community members, players from different streamers, community members, friends and families. Like everybody comes together and gets to experience Delta Force together, which I think is the best part. So regardless of whether you slay out today or maybe you go for most rescues, revives, even though that's not a challenge for the day, we love to have you. We need some support players in this house, especially when it comes to Warfare.
You're not wrong. I mean, how many times on the events have we just saw people are like, oh, we always need a stinger. Like, where's my pistol at? Like, I just need you guys to help me consistently get back on my feet. We might need to give some people life alert. I'm not sure what it is. Like, you know, life alert. You've seen the commercials where they have to wear that thing on their neck and they start like pinging it. They're like, please help me. I've fallen. I can't get up. Story of my life.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I'm excited about this one. I am getting word, by the way, that it does sound like, I think we've got maybe some open operators. So I'm gonna double check on that and see who's playing what. but I think they're going to be able to play whatever they want. So I want to say that we're going to have some Nox, maybe some Saniva, but I think we're going to open it up a little bit with maybe some more Virons, maybe some D-Wolves, maybe some Stingers. So I think you're going to be seeing a lot of things under the sun for this first round, and we'll see where we go from there. But it's going to be shotguns only for the second one, so it's going to be very, very fun. And I'm getting word Summit wanted to play Virons, but Summit's playing Virons. And I bumped him out. He's going to be flying around the map. We're going to be dropping into our very first game of the day, folks. Welcome to Delta Force. We're back. Eclipse Vigil season is here. Let's jump into this amazing action and see who's going to be the first to get to 1,200 kills as we head to the nighttime mode of trench lines.
Looks like half the enemy team did not make it in, but we're still chilling.
Allied troops launching an assault on objective Alpha.
Almost died.
He just says almost died. I was curious what we were already going to be kicking things off with. Of course, he has locked in Viron. Now, to be fair, that is no surprise. He was grinding operations just before this as Viron.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're going to, again, this NYXE squad is one of the teams that we highlighted. This is like a competitive team, Tiff. I think they are going to crush today as they are going to fly at their opponents, I'm sure, here on trench lines.
And we get to see all the new Nox, right? All of the capabilities, what they're going to throw down with. I want to see the whirlwind disc. From my understanding, people were testing it and you can actually shoot it before it connects, but I haven't seen people be able to do it just yet. I'm not that coordinated.
Yeah, I feel like I'm good at this game until I watch some of our top players. You can see that's Saniva on the other side, by the way, from this side. NYXE was shooting at a player with the big old riot shield. Yeah, that's Saniva. Saniva's a problem. Can definitely take some of your shots for a while.
Mano, que porra é essa, mano? Os caras não trocam, velho.
Silent assault.
Ooh, and right there, did you hear the trigger for Silent Assault?
He's half.
Yeah, it's scary.
He's getting repaired.
I think there was a moment there, Ender's got the wrong end of a flamethrower, I think, which is brand new with this update as well. So looks like a couple players trying to use some of the new things.
See, I told you, Goj. Anytime you see a flamethrower, I'm out. I am out. But here, Luis, what you were talking about, I love the Breaking Bad background.
Look, you got to represent. I mean, this is one of the most iconic characters and iconic shows, and both is incredible. So it's good to see Louise and Daniel both a part of the broadcast today. And they both stream, by the way. I'm pretty sure they've got Twitch drops active as well. So you got to go check them out.
To the right, he's moving to the right a bit, up the hill. They may have gotten him.
I think we're chilling. Whoa.
Slowly but surely working their way through the trench lines. This is one of my favorite maps, and on the nighttime mode, it's even scarier, Tiff, frankly, because, yeah, you're running through the trenches. There could be anybody lurking in a corner, but it's also dark, and there's, like, fire burning around you. The ambiance is actually insane.
I'm really just kind of taking it all in. And I feel like that's what a lot of our creators are doing off the rip, maybe just trying to kind of warm up, get familiarized with it. But do you know how horrifying it is when you actually get to just hide into these trenches? So of course, if you feel familiar with D-Wolf, sometimes you just got to pull out the triple blaster, hide in a trench, and just attack them as you go to get the next sector objective.
Again, this is one of those squads that we were calling out. Summit, of course, you heard him being a little bit of the IGL, calling out where some of the players could be as they move up to the next objective. We had Booker DeWitt, Fleurs on that team as well. Looking like they were slaying out, and they're pushing the equation pretty aggressively. As we kind of swap over, you can tell our attackers are moving quickly and rapidly through these capture points, trying to push as fast as humanly possible.
It's quite interesting when they're actually like just roaming throughout it, but have no idea where the crossfire is coming through. They're just getting laid out. And when you've got Summit on your screen and he's feeling pretty confident, nice stare head peek here. but good timing to back off and let that health regen begin. The issue is if you've got a Nox on your other side, remember what we were talking about with deep trauma?
Yeah, it's a problem. You're like, wait, please, can I get some health back at any time now? Question mark? Like, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to wait quite a while. Obviously, having stingers on your team is going to be super helpful. Any healers, support characters. But yeah, if you're fighting Nox, you're going to be in trouble.
Talking to teammates. I don't know though.
Make Havoc pay for every life they've destroyed.
We're kind of just smooth rolling through right now.
Okay, well, if you're going to bring us up this free cam shot here so we can really get a lay of the land, look at everyone filtering up that. But you were talking about that specific team. All I see is WAG, Rasta just lighting it up. Finally, though, Metal Gunner's going to give some retaliation.
They're playing the edge of this map right now, just fighting for their lives at this point.
That silence. Settle down.
But they are quickly rocking through these points, dominating their opponents. One shot Rich there briefly on screen and continue to cycle through our different players.
เหมือนไอ้คนตะกี้ไงไอ้คนตะกี้ก็แหมกว่าจะย้ายทีมได้แทบจะเตะหัวหลายรอบละไม่ก็บอกแล้วอย่าไว้ใจคน ประเทศเดียวกันกับผมกับแถวนี้ผมแบบ
Ooh, hey, at least you're moving right along with the vehicle. Back on over to Nerveless here. Real nice way of working these windows and just getting behind the enemies and taking them just completely off guard. But we talked about Stinger and how important it is just to have that pistol in your hand to avoid the deep trauma counteractions. So love to see that as well.
All right, NYXE back on your screen right now. The sweats are sweating, Tiff. I'll tell you what, they are crushing it right now. Fighting for their lives, but getting a ton of kills to boot.
Ooh, okay, turn on them. Love to see that. I know we got a brief glance at the leaderboard. Too quick for me to try and even understand what's happening because it's all chaos all the time. This is what that night mode can bring you here on Trench Lines. And honestly, it is beautifully done. I even like the fragments from the flames kind of through the air flowing around. And I was trying to launch in. I was like, how many kills are we at? Because remember, we're looking for 1,200.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think we're trying to push up towards about 100 apiece. We are just, frankly, flying through this map. And part of it is on the back of the guy right now on your screen. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many can he get? Finally, the flamethrower cuts him down. Yeah, I was like, got V-Hunks on your screen right now.
I hate this tank guy, man.
And look at that. You were talking about it, Tiff. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Our ticking time bomb, if you will. The first to 1,200 kills is going to trigger an explosion. And it looks like we've got an operator standing by, ready to start that explosion, depending on the team.
One guy on top of the hill.
I don't blame him. I'd be hovering the button. But granted, 1,200, I saw some double digits across the board, so might take us until maybe game 3 of our day, but who knows? Something about summit and some staircases and just looking for all the different unique angles. And then we got vehicles in there. Hey, remember when we saw this last time on the Delta Force broadcast? People were playing on top of that pillar in the center, just raining down.
That's the same guy.
Good shit, good shit. Same guy. That piece of shit.
Wearing a dark skin.
Got it, I got it.
He's running the permanent flag. He's running the permanent flag.
I don't know what these sounds are in the background, but somebody is locked in over there. I love it. Louise getting a few rescues and picking up a couple kills, but there are some sweats on the other side as well. We told you there's some good players. That was wild.
I thought he had a leopard, like, just chilling. It's like, yeah, just me, my weapon, and my leopard.
Kill tank again.
And it looks like Team Blast is our first to hit, it looks like 10%. That's 120 kills already, by the way. Team Chaos not too terribly far behind, but pretty evident Team Blast is leading the charge in this very first round. So they are ahead on our leaderboard overall thus far, and we'll keep you updated on those total kills as they get logged. But this game is almost over, Tiff, already, as the attackers have dominated this one to start things off here in Trench Line.
Oh, I honestly thought we were going to be able to take that kill too.
You guys, I'm sorry.
Help him. Get me back on up. Back on over to One Shot Rich here. Work on the side of this mountain. There goes the disc.
It's like I'm staying on the cap.
He was battling for his life here on the edge. Oh, okay. Picking up a couple deep in transition. Play outside of the battle area. I love it. One Shot Rich, little cheese strats, but that is going to be a win for our attackers, I believe. Team Blast dominating that one in the first round. So big ups to Louise, Summit, and everybody in between there on Team Blast. I think they're going to get the first round victory and a ton of kills to boot. We had a quick look at our scoreboard there. We're going to get some of our kills tallied and get you a final update on where our kills land, because as a reminder, up to 1,200. The first team to get to 1,200 kills, they're the team that's going to win it all. So it might take a little while, but once we get there, you're going to see a crazy explosion on broadcast. You're not going to want to miss it. But Tiff, what were your first impressions of our very first map of Trench Lines?
It's hard to get coordinated for the defense to guard the sectors against some attacking team that is hyper aggro. And you can just see all they want to do is just keep pushing up, keep that pressure on you. And then you just see the defense kind of, I don't want to say like get knocked over, but we definitely had a really aggressive attacking side of things. So how do you take that back and be like, where do we want to counteract? Where are our better times to group up and hold? Could we have used some resources or maybe grabbed a vehicle that would have been able to help us a bit more? Regardless, it was really exciting to see.
Yeah, totally agree. I think it was fun to watch not only the nighttime mode, but also some of our players begin to use Nox. Saw some Sinivas there as well on the other side. I'm telling you, the shield is actually so dang valuable, especially when you're playing in the trench line, so you have cover from both sides or deep in the trenches, and then you've got the shield set up. I mean, you can help your team out, you can help yourself out. It's a blast. So it was fun to watch it in the first round. I'm wondering how it's going to go in the second round. We're going to be swapping attack and defenses for everybody. So you're going to see Team Blast on the other side. They're going to be defending this time around after a pretty aggressive victory, and then we'll swing it back the other way as we head back into a brand new map after that. So yeah, Tiff, this is a lot of fun. I think one of the big things I noticed from our teams is we had some pretty good comms. So let's take a quick look back on our replays from this map and some of our favorite parts. And I think it looks like Enders was using every piece of equipment he could get his hands on, but also caught the wrong end of a flamethrower here and there.
Yeah, we were talking about that, like, right? You see the flamethrower, next thing you know, oh no, it's happening. Back to Enders again. Now, this is the specific moment where people were really navigating quite well. And hey, if you want to bring that on out, try to hit the vehicle, take down a couple of kills along the way. But it was this team right here that was so locked in.
Yeah, One Shot Rich as well, really strong. And again, a quick almost sneak peek of the Nox operator. If you haven't had a chance to check him out, you definitely have to. Very fun stuff. We had a chance to look at the video, and then we had a chance to see him in action in game. And there's something so like pristine about using Nox on a nighttime mode, Tiff, that's just frankly scary.
Yeah, it is. I mean, let's be real. We are talking about the specialty, deep trauma, and how tough it is to try and regain your health back after being attacked for them when the majority of our players are running Nox. So you have to be very aware of that. But also the nighttime, you've got to have all of the nighttime vision supplements to be able to see things in addition. But granted, even if you don't have that, the vision isn't impaired too bad. It just makes it really pretty. But you have to worry about the sound. That silent assault, the tactical gear that comes through from Nox can be really challenging, especially if you're not someone that's consistently checking your surroundings and you're only focusing forward. This gives Nox the perfect time to just flank someone. And that's going to be really critical for you to find success, especially in a warfare mode. If your side's losing, make a big play with Nox can really change the trajectory for yourself and your team.
Yeah, I think it's a great breakdown and a great shout on the efficacy of Nox in Warfare, and then also Operations. There's some tweaks to his kit as well, but some really cool stuff you can use for Operations. So fun things with Nox. We'll see a lot more Nox today, I'm sure. Let's take one more quick look at our format for the rest of the day. As a reminder, maybe you're just tuning in for the very first time. Maybe you're here looking for drops. We've got drops all over the place, by the way. We've got all of our streamers that are live. You can go over to Summit's channel, Ender's channel, Louise, Daniel's channel. They've all got drops active for you as well. But here's a quick look at the format. We've got our Warfare mode, of course, today, as you already saw in our very first game. We're going to be playing a total of 4, and we're playing to 1,200 kills. This is the key factor for the day. We are looking to see which side can get to 1,200 kills first. Now, on our right side, we're going to be going into our second round, which means we are now moving into Viren. Only if our players have them unlocked, you're running Viren. We know Summit was running Viren already, so definitely going to be running Viren in the second round. And this time it's going to be shotguns only. So talk about some close quarters combat. It's going to be a dang good time, and it's going to be epic chaos, frankly, is what it's going to be. And then in round 3 and 4, of course, we're going to be moving into the commander mode, which is this limited time mode that you haven't seen yet. This is something new coming to the season that's not launched yet. The commander mode for round 3 and 4 allows one player to be the commander of the entire side, the entire team, which is really exciting. And you're going to have some extra things that you could do as the commander. If your team votes for you to be the commander, you know, you're going to be able to call in potentially some extra resources, some support systems that maybe you have, you know, wouldn't be able to do if you were a normal player. And potentially, if you take down that commander, I believe you actually earn more points for your team. So there's kind of it's a new game mode. We're really excited to showcase it. That'll be rounds 3 and 4. So that's the format for the day. We are already through our very first round very quickly because of the dominance of Team Blast. But I think it'll be a little bit more balanced once we get into the other side. Team Blast has to do the defending this time around, Tiff.
Do we think so, or will Team Chaos just absolutely steamroll it? Are we seeing a nice attack-sided difference where you're just hyper aggro and you can't figure it out? Or will Team Blast be like, no, just because we know how quickly we broke down the defensive side of things, we know what it's going to take to defend against Team Chaos when they get to attack us?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I am usually a huge fan of defending. I'll say that. When I'm in Warfare,
really?
I think defense is, I guess, my style of play. To be fair, I usually sit back and snipe quite a bit. It's just really dang fun to hit headshots. But apparently attacking had a nice sizable advantage in the first round. So we'll see if that attacking advantage continues into the next one. Maybe its nighttime mode makes it harder for our defense. I don't know. I'm pumped to see what happens in the next one. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming with Delta Force in this update. Again, I think if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. You'll watch a lot of stuff on broadcast today that is probably going to interest you for trying out this game, not only in Warfare, but also Operations. Eclipse Vigil is this brand new season. It dropped literally today. So if you haven't had a chance to get involved in it, maybe after work today while you're watching this broadcast, you know, go check it out once we've wrapped things up here. But yeah, Tiff, I'm excited to get into the second one here. We've got same map, same nighttime mode, same chaos, but swapping sides. And frankly, I'm sure going to see a lot of Noxes this time around as well. So anything you're looking out for? I mean, we saw just a very quick glimpse with our free cam observer of some vehicle gameplay, which we note is extremely valuable when it comes to pretty much all Warfare maps. But frankly, the end of this Warfare map in particular, at the end of Trench Lines, vehicle gameplay can be extremely valuable because you got to earn some of those vehicles along the way with your support systems. So I think that's the thing I'm kind of keeping my eyes out for, to see if maybe the defense can rear their ugly head this time around and potentially pick up some tanks to hold the line.
I'm looking for flamethrowers. I just want more flamethrower action. I just want an all-out brawl of flamethrowers. Like, you gotta show up. If someone comes at you with a flamethrower, be like, no, I have one of my own. You just pull it out and you're just like, all right, let's actually do this. But no, I just think I want to see people really working with Nox, just because I think that the skill ceiling for that operator is going to be high to be able to use the kit to the best of their abilities. And then also waiting to see how people are going to use some of the recon operators to counteract to the best that they can what Nox brings to the table.
Yeah, I think that's a great shout. More Nox, we want them, we love them. Make sure that you launch with that character because I want to see more as well. Now, I do think we've got a leaderboard here potentially ready right around the corner, which I'm excited to show because it was a pretty aggressive win here from Team Blast, but we'll show that once our players have submitted their scores and we get all of our scores logged into that score sheet, we'll be ready to go, and then we're going to be jumping into the very next game. So, okay, I'm looking, if we can, I'd love to pull up Team Chaos, our team team in question. This is the team that needs to step up a little bit, all right? Now, I'm looking at this team. Obviously, our squad at the top, Ender squad, is going to be a team that can hold the line. Needs a little bit of help here. And I think I'm looking at, we're going to have to show Daniel's squad in this next one and see what they're able to do this time attacking Mr. Raffle Waffles. All eyes on you, my friends. Let's see if we can hold the line in this next one, because I think these are the teams that we're going to kind of give the shout to say, all right, let's step up and see what we can do.
Ooh, I mean, look, here's the deal. Your brother already beat you. So Daniel, you're going to have to get on that attacking side of things, and you're going to have to put him in his place, because if I have to compete against my brother IRL in literally anything or just in gaming, it gets personal, and it shouldn't be, but it does, because that's just what it is. Sibling rivalry.
Yeah, I think we all know, anybody that has siblings know that there's a ton of rivalry. These guys, incredible people. I had a chance to talk to them a little bit before the broadcast. They definitely have a sibling rivalry, but they've also worked together a ton. So whether it's against each other or with each other, great people, great actors. So it'd be fun to watch them continue to compete today. And I can tell Louise was locked in on Summit's team. Like,
yes.
They were locked in, getting the rescues, slow working their way through the trenches, making sure they covered every corner. They weren't giving up a single ticket if they didn't need to. But yeah, I'll be looking at, of course, Sindashank squad and Shadow squad as well to step up. But let's take a quick look at our overall leaderboard, because it really was a domination from Team Blast to start things off, I can only assume. Let's take a look at those scores and see how they all added up here shortly, because I think, frankly, this will kind of be the litmus test. This will set the tone for how aggressive we need to get as Team Chaos to potentially pick up those 1,200 kills and launch that explosion that we're waiting for here on broadcast, Tiff.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So I can't wait to see the leaderboard. But I mean, we've been talking about all of the changes that have been coming with the quality of life updates and just the new season Eclipse Vigil. Speaking of leaderboards, right, you're going to have a global leaderboard and a friends leaderboard to be able to keep track and kind of grind to be the #1 spot. I know how many of my friends, like as soon as they get locked into gaming, they're going to put down 10+ hour sessions daily and do their best to race everyone they know and claim that top spot, especially on that global leaderboard. That's the one you got to keep an eye out. And if you're looking for friends to play with, I mean, peruse the global leaderboard. Be like, yeah, I would love to play with the person ranked number 5 and up on the leaderboard. They clearly know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, my favorite part too is that you and I were both kind of perusing the Delta Force category on Twitch, and there are so many people grinding the game now with this brand new season. You could go tune into any of their streams. Again, we've got Twitch drops active all over the place as well on those streams. All of our players today, most of our players today have those drops active, so definitely go get your drops. But you could definitely tell us, I mean, people are doing subathons like you were mentioning, streamathons. I too did to a content creator, a Poach. He was doing a 24-hour stream for this launch. So I know everybody's excited about this season. If maybe you played Delta Force during beta or any of the other seasons leading up to this one, definitely check out and give Eclipse Vigil a shout, because this new season's got a brand new content, a brand new map rotation, and a ton of new intel out there as well. And you were talking about it, Tiff, right before that we had this amazing developer roundtable not too long ago. I think it was actually last week at this point, like 8-9 days ago, that went live, and that showed a ton of this content kind of prepping for it. So if you're waiting to play because maybe you're at work and you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, maybe watch that video after this broadcast to get all the intel you need and then hop into the game once you get home. Now, we've been talking about Nox a ton while we wait on these scores to be fully updated and get our second lobby ready to go. I want to show you that Nox video one more time, because as much as we can yap about it and talk about it here on broadcast, this video does a much better job of explaining everything that Nox has to offer.
Find the terminal.
Your sad ability really has been.
Billy de Montbel. Call sign Nox, assault operator. Trained by Havoc, Nox is a seasoned mercenary with rich experience. As a man of few words who prefers to operate independently, his collaboration with GTI is a product of necessity rather than a choice. Specializing in information disruption with proficiency in various combat techniques, he excels in stealth operations. Like a cold dagger, he exposes vulnerabilities in enemy defenses to strike at their throats. Nox's tactical equipment, Silent Assault, consists of an information jammer and sonic jammer. When activated, the disruptors emit sonic interference waves, minimizing Nox's sound propagation and the alert range of enemies. While this interference is in effect, enemy recon tools are enabled to pinpoint Nox's exact location.
Allied forces are engaging at objective Bravo.
Well, Nox Operator is pretty dang cool. If you want to get a chance to check it out, you've got to go get involved in Delta Force now. We're going to see a lot more of Nox today, I'm sure, in our broadcast, but you can experience it firsthand, on hand. Go check out Nox with their brand new Eclipse of Vigil season here with Delta Force. You can download Delta Force, obviously, here on PC, with our launcher down below. You can see the website, the official Delta Force website. You can go get the Delta Force launcher. You can get on Steam, Epic Game Store, but you've got to experience Delta Force also officially launched on mobile. We've got mobile content creators streaming for like 24 hours as well right now for this launch. So many people excited about it, and it allows for cross-platform progression, which is a brand new feature to this mobile game that is so exciting. So experience the ultimate AAA FPS on mobile and immerse yourself in what frankly looks like PC level graphics quality. You can literally just compare the PC and mobile versions, and they are so dang similar. It's outstanding. So make sure you go download the game, Steam, Epic Game Store, official launcher, and then also iOS App Store and Android Google Play Store. Go get involved with Delta Force now. And you got to bring back Tiff, because we're about to jump into this second game. And I think one of my favorite things to talk about when it comes to Warfare is some of that strategy. So let's talk a little bit about the strategy as we are waiting for the second game to get started. I believe we're about to jump into it. Warfare strategy, Tiff. Oftentimes the things we talk about with Warfare is how do you play together as a team. Now, when I say team, most people think about, oh, well, my team of 4, my squad. And no, I'm talking about the whole team. We're talking about all 20 players. How do you play together as a team of 20 and set yourself up well? Now, obviously, there's a modicum of different operators you can use and different weapons you can use. But one of the things I always pay attention to is how you're positioned, because all that it comes down to from the attacker side is that you don't run out of lives. So if you don't have people rescuing you, reviving you off the ground, you're going to be running out of lives very quickly. You're going to be resetting very quickly. And the other thing to think about from the defense side is that some of our early points, where you spawn on the defense is pretty far away. So you maintaining your life and staying alive and getting rescued, also very important. Whereas later into the map, when you're on the last couple points, rescuing not as much a point. You spawn basically on the point or very close to it as the defense. So oftentimes you'll see people swap operators or swap kits as you get later into the map. Just some fun tidbits of Warfare there.
I love that you come in with all the strategy, because like for me, it's just dangling a shiny object that just says like, just keep full sending. So you're like, maintain your tickets, play your life, be smart. And I'm just like, okay, well, that means I'm just going to full send with whatever I have and close the gap and maybe not preserve my light. So that I would need a good IGL to be able to tell me where specifically to go. So even on my squad, not even just in the 20 players on my team, like you are going to have to look at both objectives and tell me exactly where you want me to go and attack from, or else I'm full sending, Goj.
Hey, I love it. Full send indeed. And speaking of full sending, I believe our game number 2 is getting started as we speak. So I'm really excited to jump into this one and again, see if Team Blast is going to dominate attack and defense, or maybe they're going to potentially struggle a bit on the defense, just like Team Chaos did. We're going to be jumping into the action here and see what these players are able to do. I want to see more of that free cam as well to see how the team is set up, because I think when I talk about strategy and where teams can set up, how they set up, high ground obviously important, but how do you play with the other squads on your team? And we're not in command mode yet, but maybe follow around your commander and help them out. That way you have a little bit of team chemistry, a little bit of camaraderie, and you can work together on some of your weapons. But frankly, Tiff, we could talk strategy all day with Warfare. I'm excited to see the action, and I'm excited to see more flamethrowers. If you got the flamethrower in game already, give us a shout. I want to see it on broadcast. We want to see more people getting doused in flames, because it's Warfare and it's chaos, and that's everything that we want on broadcast.
Yeah, honestly, if you're posting your clips up on the timeline, please tag Delta Force because that's the best way I'm going to see them. When Delta Force shares the community's clips, I'm seeing some of the coolest things.
Yeah, totally agree. Well, the game is ready, so let's jump into it. We're heading back to trench lines, and it is nighttime mode, so let's get involved. And let's see what these players are able to do.
I'm gonna ram you.
We're going to be checking out One Shot Rich to start. It sounds like he's getting aggressive as well, so I'm pumped about it.
Hear me out. While he's getting pumped, can we just talk about the Nox operator video that we just showed maybe like 5 minutes ago? I am pretty sure One Shot Rich has Nox hair.
Yeah, it is quite similar. Yeah, wait a minute. You're kind of right. Well, in the second one, as much as we want to see Nox, I do think most of our players, if not all of our players, are running shotgun kits only. So you're going to be seeing a lot of shotguns here from just about everybody. And now that we've swapped over to Viren, it is going to be shotguns, and it is going to be flying at our opponents. So this is going to be utter chaos. And of course, you can use your equipment, and frankly,
That's not a shotgun.
if somebody's in a tank already, we might be in trouble.
Well, that's a shotgun. We'll take that one. Still locked in for some stinger action here, but I was curious how many Virens we would see, and it looks like a lot of our players are using that M870 shotgun. I was curious, would our players have the new 725 double barrel unlocked? But quite frankly, who needs it? Because Enders is going wild.
Yeah, Enders is one of those players that you want to watch high level, super aggressive gameplay. This dude's content is pretty impressive when it comes to these style of modes, specifically Warfare. He is different. Now, I am noticing that a lot of folks are trying to run Viren. There's a couple folks that maybe weren't able to get into Viren as a part of their kit, so they're going to be running maybe some support systems. But I think this tank is going to be a menace. Here's a quick overhead look at some of our players trying to figure out how to attack and how to do it quickly, as this tank is a problem.
All right, time to go. And if we're gonna lock things in, how they're gonna play with their team, which filtering are we going up through? You can see relatively split, right? But it looks like we're heading for B1 over here.
Yeah, quick capture of point A means we head straight to B1, B2, and this is where the trenches really come into play. And this is where shotgun gameplay is going to be everything. Hang out in the trenches, take the corners, ready to rock and roll because it's going to be utter chaos. You can see already the players freaking out because it is nuts in here.
Oh no, it is dark up in these trenches. I know it's shotguns only, but sometimes you gotta bring a pistol for a little bit more range. But I will say, with that M870, it hits at a distance too.
You can definitely poke and prod with it for the most part. Trench to trench hopping, hideout to hideout hopping. The attackers seem to have...
Dude, I can't take fights because I can't take fights with anything less than 100 HP. It's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think one of the keys here is how you gotta figure out how to play shotguns only inside these trenches. This is gonna be the difficult part. Looks like the attackers do have an advantage right now. They are swinging it in their favor, which means that Tame Chaos maybe is finding some success finally, which is exciting to see.
No, ese vato trae médico.
Sí, ese güey trae médico, güey, se pasa de verga.
No, I'm hit.
Ooh, the peak right there. We're shoulder peeking in the trenches.
Neutralize objective Bravo.
Get revived. It was like
I gotta say, I am loving V-Hunks' look here. Obviously, a little bit of some night vision here, a little infrared sight. That'll help you out. We're figuring out some tech to figure out how to play inside of this crazy game mode in shotguns only.
I love this. Okay, more Viren action, getting that Crouching Tiger tactical gear out in the distance and just looking over the trenches, finally connects on that kill. Dude, I just love how aggro people can get with the shotties. Plus, it's a close range combat, especially down here at night.
For the last game, and then I got out and opened one of those crates.
And I think
Tell me more about the crates.
yeah, I think he's been playing some operations in the meantime, playing this event as well. With shotguns in hand, and again with Viren, you've got your boost that you can swing around the corner with. That'll certainly speed up some of your engagements and hopefully break some ankles. And I think V-Hunks is definitely one of the players to watch here with Mr. Raffle Waffles.
Bye, bye, bye.
Ooh.
Objective Bravo 2 is under attack.
Ooh, cutting them down, but unfortunately find someone lurking just below.
Good. Go to B2.
Now, this is definitely a longer time holding B1 and B2 than we've seen in the past. So it does look like, although the attackers have found a bit of success this time around, Team Chaos, it does look like that they have kind of begun to slow right now as trying to figure out how to get an entry point on these points and get both of them so we can finally move on to the next one. Boom, there it is.
Got 2. Got 3.
We shot if no one's close.
So clean. Wolf Enders is going to keep on pushing alongside, trying to get closer to C. Here comes the retaliation.
Kill him. Come to the river. Come to the river. Come to the river. Come to the river. Come to the river.
Unkillable strat about to drop. Come to the river.
Yep.
Oh, Ender's squad has got a strategy. And they need it, frankly. They're pushing. They've made it to C, which is definitely worthwhile. I mean, this is a lot better than the defense they were able to do last time.
What the?
But Summit's cleaning up. This is the thing about the nighttime mode. You can creep up on some people pretty easily. They're not looking around. It's hard to see you sometimes in the night.
Chasing someone else.
There's another one right there.
He's running around the back of that farmhouse.
There's one behind.
We are in the car.
Is this the unkillable strat?
Yeah, I think we roll up, swing around to the point, try to hold it from here. I think vehicles, obviously, like we talked about, is incredibly valuable. I will say we've got some explosive charges that are on Viren's kit that can blow up vehicles, so they're not going to be unkillable, but definitely going to be a little bit more difficult, I think, than maybe using some of the AT-4 launchers that maybe you would use on D-Wolf.
Allied troops engaging in objective charge.
¡Deja! ¡El carro! Así no se puede.
El carro.
Ay, me matan con escopeta.
Thought we were going to be able to get that one for a second. Back on here with One Shot Rich. Trying to clear out this sector and defend from the inside, but unlucky.
Yeah, this is unlucky. There's a quick look at the scores overall. It looks like it's fairly even across the board, but C in a bit of trouble right now. Got several kills across the board on some of our players. It looks like our top players are having somewhere around like 15 to 20 kills. So we do our math there, and it looks like maybe Team Chaos is finally creeping towards our 10% on our leaderboard of 1,200 kills. Things definitely stabilizing out here, but Team Chaos is doing a honestly better job than I thought they would with this attack. They've come back and are kind of evening the tally for the attacker advantage. This building is falling apart on top of Enders, but he does not look phased.
Not phased at all. Look at him clearing out the stairway, just absolutely locked.
I think Enders is single-handedly nearly taking that point by himself. There, his squad's finally caught up to him, and now they're capturing it a lot faster. There was a while he was the only player on the point and only player alive anywhere near the point, just slowly dominating this lobby.
I killed Summit!
Anytime
You run that back?
Summit dies, you gotta shout it out. I love it.
No, I think we take that clip, and that's just our intro to everything. You come hang out in Ender's channel, you just get I killed Summit.
Some of us doing well too, but they've finally taken Cap C. So now we're getting to point D. Now, here's the thing about point D. This is going to be a little bit more difficult for the attackers to take advantage of, I believe, just frankly because the spawn points of our defensive players are quite a bit closer. So I think the key to our attackers' victory here on Ender's screen is you can see that tank on the left-hand side of your screen. Tank's going to go crazy.
I don't give a fuck that I use my secondary. Fuck you.
Hey, we said we got to use shotgun loadouts. You know what I mean? I mean, hey, if you got to pull out the pistol, you know, you got to do what you got to do to stay alive. It's warfare. It's chaos. It is what it is.
It's more tactical gear. It's using your entire loadout that you have. And quite frankly, with what we've been witnessing Enders be able to do and keep pushing that forward, I'm saying these flicks are top tier.
Yeah, we were talking to DMs and he was talking about how he is just, he has a near sickness at this point.
Resets there.
Flank.
he's nearly he said he's nearly sick with this idea that he has to be extremely competitive in any game he plays, even if he's just trying to play for fun, even off stream. He is so competitive that yeah, he's gonna be sweating, and especially in an event like this.
Respect. That's all I've got right here. Well, pick your teammates up. We're talking about preserving your life, especially when you get close. And tell me we are just missing that one. Metal Gunner. Maybe 20 HP on that.
They've learned, they've adapted.
No, dude.
All right, this is actually.
Nice shots here by Luis. Able to pick up a couple kills, and unfortunately, I think maybe a tank getting involved and a couple more shotguns. We're locked in.
Tanque llevan como 5 veces que me mata.
Ponta.
Allá, está lejos.
Why isn't there a public chat?
We got a C4 that tank.
Ooh. Can we eliminate everyone on
gosh.
D2? You find 2 on the inside and one shot Rich making it work for the time being.
Sorry. Got my face blasted in, bro.
There are shotguns everywhere.
Yeah.
So to be fair.
Hey, you're on the 1v2, just sprinting into the tent. That was impressive. Oh, wait, this could be it right there. This could be the end of this game if we're not careful. They're trying to capture D1 and D2 at the same time. And this would be a win if they're able to do it. It's looking like they might be able to. NYXE team is going crazy in the kill feed right now. They're trying to defend this as before we get to this kind of final point. And I think they're going to be able to. There was a chance there for a moment that Ender's squad is going to be in a bit of trouble. But they're able to get it. Able to defend the 2 points they were trying to capture. So we're going to be moving on to the next one. This will be the last point. This is the final stand for the defense.
Did we just see some revenge from Summit onto Enders?
They've nowhere else to run.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely did.
Pulling artillery fire.
I think so. I'm pretty confident that's fine.
Oh. Oh. Ruffle Waffles, I'm sorry that just happened to you, but that one hurt from the artillery.
Wait, the guy's on the AA turret.
One shot Rich. Now, look, we've seen this before where players hide out on the tower. I think with pistols and shotgun, that might not be the best strategy. But hey, if you can get a little poke damage, maybe help out your team, who knows? But now with tank here on the defensive side, I think there is a decent chance they're going to be able to hold this. Oh.
Do we? Oh, that's right.
I love our free cam.
All I saw was one shot Rich just like looking like a cat just on the ledge up by the window before he popped down. Artillery barrage ready. Ooh. Right, perusing through some of our players here, and honestly, it's just chaos. Every POV that we're going to is just getting annihilated by the shotguns. This game mode's so fun when you add in shotguns only.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, I am a stand for the snipers, but Some of this CQB combat is so much fun.
Where are you coming from?
Very valid. Very valid question, especially on nighttime.
Literally.
It looks like VHunks does have some of our night vision, which is nice. Definitely will brighten things up a little bit. But our defense is holding the line, Tiff. Pretty impressive stuff. Obviously, the tank is helpful there.
Hey, they used what they learned on the attacking initially when Team Blast kicked things off from that side, and we're just seeing what they could do when they had to swap against Team Chaos. And I love that we keep seeing some of our players have some of that night vision capabilities, but VHunks might be one of the only one that had the actual scope that benefit him. One shot Rich clearly, brightening things up, but...
Whoa, 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 whoa! Dude, I was like nobody there the whole time.
We were frolicking
the whole time.
Yeah, we were frolicking out in the open, and then Enders comes in and says, "Thank you very much. I'll take that. How about another one? Here's another one." And it looks like our attackers finally having some advantage, and then slowly but surely it's being taken back. Again, I think point E is going to be the hardest one by far. This could be the point that takes a while. This could be almost a small kind of break in the onslaught that was the attackers' push, and it's good for good reason too. The Team Chaos needed it, right? They defended the last one. They got obliterated pretty quickly, and they've made great progress here to defend much longer than their opponents were able to. But the question is, like, how long can they hold this point? I think vehicles are going to be a huge key to this, and frankly, it's using a vehicle, but using it somewhat far away so that you don't get C4'd.
Smoke screen incoming.
Oh, if we're getting a smoke screen in, that's really going to cut off some lines aside, and Lukey yet again. Can we just talk about how we've been seeing so many of these shotgun fights happening around corners, and people are just kind of peeking out, but if they miss that initial one or two, next thing you know, you're down, you're out, goodbye to another ticket for your team.
Yeah, we've got plenty of lives for this point.
Oh, baby.
It's just a matter of how long does it take.
I got shot off it. Oh, you get hit by another...
Again, this is a look at that night vision we were talking about. You can call it in kind of your support systems menu, and oh, all right, VHunks, I see you. Almost able to pick up the two-piece, but a nice play using the Viren.
I mean, not only that, but we were using the magnetic bombs to kind of open the way and get that initial damage thanks to it sticking to hard surfaces and detonating after a countdown. However, we had gotten taken out from our flank before we got to see the real benefits of opening up with that.
Secure our last sector, whatever it takes.
One inside.
The situation is critical. Stand your ground. Defend at all costs.
Looking for inside.
It's up back.
What?
Fighting for his life out there. So many players out there couldn't quite connect.
Might be trying to kill me. I'm not entirely sure. There's 3 people coming into the front door.
If I was the tank, I'd be focusing Enders, Tiff.
Same, but also this is that exact positioning where we had just seen Summit. It's as if Summit and Enders are drawn to each other on the opposing side of things. However, we've seen what Ender's flicks look like with this shoddy, so very formidable, but taking some time out to get the teammate back up on their feet.
No, dude. I'm recurring.
Victory in sight. They can't hold much longer.
Medic boy, just blew medic boys back out.
M870 back into the mix, and unfortunately cutting down one shot Rich. But you can see some of these kills. Wow, we've got 55 from Siren on the side. We knew NYXC was really strong, but 55 some odd kills is wild in this game. So very impressive stuff for the NYXC squad there on one side. And then there looks like on our, I think it was our attacking side, somewhere around 33 or so kills for our top player on that side. So some nice solid kill totals. We should be slowly but surely creeping up towards our 1,200 kill tally.
It's okay, I saw the 48 in the second place, so we are really neck and neck at the top of the leaderboard on the defending side. still holding steady, trying to hit this capture if they can get it. But I'm not gonna lie, watching Viren just kind of have that dynamic propulsion and just be able to have crazy movement with the shotties here in close range is making E look so much more chaotic around here.
And we're finally starting to see some chunks in the armor on this point. Great efforts here from Lukey. I mean, he was crushing it.
Oh, we're about to this point too.
Oh no.
Huh?
Oh no, yeah, look, you can see that the defense barely holding on right now. Ender's doing everything he can to capture this point. It's a war of attrition, Tiff, and I think the attackers are just barely, slowly but surely winning it as more and more defensive players rush into this point. You can see that tally getting ticked back towards the defense. Ender's gonna have to get involved, and he's gonna do that by playing over the top. Oh my gosh. I think this guy knows how to play, folks. Viren's kit doing wonders for Enders as he puts on a show for us. That was disgusting.
I don't know where did that shot come from? Oh!
Close, but that looked like he took it to the face, whereas he was hitting on the shoulder. It'd be like that, Lukey. It really do sometimes. You wonder. You're like, I had a teammate in front of me. He should have been like my last line of defense. Well, have you seen Enders lately? Because he's just mowing through people.
Yeah, I was like pretty unsure how this game was going to go with shotguns. I knew Viren players were going to be looking pretty fierce out there. Great movement. I wasn't expecting to jump out of the window, Viren boost over the top, spin around, and get a quadruple kill in a single clip. I mean, Enders is definitely showing us how to play this one. Now, I do think this is going to be difficult. Enders was talking about strategy there for a moment with his team. They had a slight advantage, but they've got to get as many numbers as they can actually on the point, and they've got to have everybody fighting on the point, because the difficulty of this point for the attackers is somehow breaking through the defense's line when they spawn so incredibly quick. Here's a quick look at our progress, by the way. We are slowly but surely making our way up to 1,200 kills, and well, looks like Team Blast is in the lead, but Team Chaos has closed the gap, or at least matched the gap in this one, Tiff, because it was 10% to 0 in the first one.
That is because Team Chaos is doing everything they can to maximize their time here on the attack. And I would love to see just how many Enders has been able to throw down, because it has been menacing. And I keep seeing his name up there in the kill feed. But Summit here, playing around the corner, doesn't even matter. We get taken from behind. That is how stealth things are here with the nighttime mode.
Now, again, I was going to say, maybe this is just to get an angle. I don't know. Maybe playing the rooftop potentially of this building could be helpful. But it's all about this point, and I think vehicles helping and artillery strikes being called in. We're kind of getting to the part of this map now, especially as we start to see our lives. Oh, well, it happens to the best of us. It happens to the best. So sometimes you accidentally break your legs on main while I'm about to hype you up about your strategy. It is what it is. Get respawn, get back in there, soldier.
Are we allowed to use the kill streaks? The nuke? Yeah, surely.
Do it. Do it. Use it. Use what you've got.
He's behind me.
And I think that's what I was going to go and say next is you could absolutely use your streaks that you get, some of your score abilities, the support systems that are built into the game. So you're seeing the artillery strikes being called in. And then, of course, if somebody gets the guided missile, which I'm sure Enders and crew are very close to if they don't have it already, this could totally open up this point and potentially give them an opportunity to capture it. But we are at a stalemate right now on point E.
Do I? I think you do.
Oh, we're getting it right now. Tiff, it's time. The guided missile on point.
Am I allowed to use it? There's nothing in the rules that says you can't.
Yes, you can use it. It's time.
They just got fucking put on a poster.
Ooh, we are witnessing just such glory here. Brings in the guided missile. Couple that with some Viren dynamic propulsions and an M870 shotty in hand with Ender's aim. This is Ender's game.
A beautiful free cam shot. And well, artillery strikes are one thing. A guided missile is a whole nother thing. This is about to open up this map dramatically. Yeah, that'll do it. Shout out to Tebra. Shout out to Enders. Back-to-back guided missiles. And it is utter chaos, utter destruction as the attack makes a massive jump onto this point. What a perfect use of the guided missile to potentially win this game.
Looks like this is going to be the last stand, and Enders will clutch it up.
All right, Enders, if you're paying attention to the broadcast, well done, man. I mean, that was what a way to close it out. And shout out to Tabra as well. I saw yours come through. And frankly, that's exactly what we wanted to see. That was going to be a stalemate probably for a while. Kills looking pretty strong on both sides. Everybody had figured it out, especially with how to use the shotgun and Viren and put your skill on display. But at the end of the day, you get enough kills to call in a guided missile. How about you clear the battlefield and cap that point before they could respawn? I am so here for it. Very well done from our attacker team, which means we've traded wins at this point. Attackers winning both times we were there in trench lines on the nighttime mode, which means that both Team Chaos and Team Blast have a victory, and both have a sizable amount of kills after that one, Tiff.
Exactly. If we're running to that race of 1,200 kills to set off that explosion, then what is a better way to make that happen, especially with that lasting 25.5 minutes to get that done? You mentioned the potential stalemate, but sometimes you just got to use what you have. Guided missiles save the day.
Yeah, they certainly do. And we've seen that time and time again when it comes to Warfare. So make sure you call in your support systems anytime you get any of those. You earn points basically by playing the game, getting kills and things like that. Once you earn those points, you can then spend them on things. That's what we're talking about. Guided missile, one of those things you can spend them on. Vehicles, you can even call in your own vehicles. I think some of our players did that as well. But you might want to save them for the guided missile because it definitely changes the map when you drop a guided missile on the point that everyone's trying to stand on. So very cool stuff. I'd love to take a quick look back here shortly on some of those amazing plays, because again, I've got to tip my hat to Team Chaos for kind of piecing it all together. They figured it out. They took a map to warm up, Tiff. I gotta say, the second map, they looked much stronger. They were able to attack with some decent amount of ferocity. Got stalemated out on that last point, obviously, but found a way to make it work and get a win and close the gap on their opponent on kills as well. So let's take a quick look back on that map and see how it all went down, because yes, it wasn't quite as much of an obliteration as the last time, but the attack still won again.
Oh, this right here was just one of the many fun moments that we got to witness. But V-Hunk's just getting down into the trench lines, has the scope that's going to give him the beneficials, give him a little more vision when it comes to trench lines at night. And yeah, some people locked in the stinger. Are we sad about it? Nah, because here's the deal. You have movement as Viren. You have a shoddy in hand. We don't care if they can res a teammate faster or heal up a little bit. Just close that gap. Get aggressive. Take them down.
Yeah, I think Summit was able to kind of take a couple flanks to open up the battlefield as well on his own side. But here's a look at some of those artillery strikes. V-Hunk's making some great plays with night vision equipped. He definitely knows what's going on. But this is the one that had me in a blender. I was like, all right, Enders, you win, dog. Absolutely moving and grooving around this map. And this is one of the reasons he was able to call in that guided missile, as some of our players maybe, unfortunately, didn't get killed by a guided missile, but maybe got killed by fall damage. It is what it is. But here's a look at those amazing call-ins from Tebra and Enders to win this game for the attack. That is what changed the game. That is what opened up the map for the attack to get that last point. And Tiff, it's like we know what we're talking about. We talked about it right before that map started. Was Point E is going to be the hardest by a sizable amount. Point E is one that the defense spawns basically right next to it, so you have to not only wipe them, but then consistently wipe them as they try to get to the point, where some of the other points were a bit easier. So the stalemate opened it up by, well, killing everybody with a couple guided missiles.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the cohesion between both of them coming in at the exact same time, despite the reinforcements of a nearby spawn, it didn't even matter. They only had to take out, was it 5 to 7 enemy players that were kind of on that defensive side of things. And next thing you know, they were already 80% of the way capped on E before those reinforcements even started flooding in, despite that close spawn range. So it was pretty much a GG go next for them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's not much you can do at this point, but yeah, some fun stuff. I'm really excited to see where our kills are at, our scores are at, because I know there was a lot more kills in that second game, and I'm talking a lot more. When you play for almost double, triple the time, you're going to see double to triple the kills, if not more, as players began to figure out how to do it. And with it being shotguns only, each of those points took longer, and you're getting a lot more mixy into the mix. So I think our kills are actually going to look pretty dramatically different here on broadcast after the first two, and in the next two, I'm sure it'll look a lot of the same as we are headed to a brand new map with a brand new mode. We're going to be seeing a lot more of those kill streaks, I think, more of those score streaks, more of those ways that you can call it support systems for your teams, because our commanders are going to have a little bit extra at their fingertips. Talk about that here in a moment, but get on it. Again, it's 1-1 in overall score, but really the only thing we're paying attention to is kills. Let's take a look at our overall scoreboard and see how our squads are doing. Here's a quick look at the amount of kills we're seeing across the board. And as expected, Ender Squad, the leader of Team Chaos by a sizable margin. But on the other side, take a look at the left-hand side. We've got NYXE all the way up to 215 kills as a squad, which is an unreal amount.
Yeah, that is nutty, because when you start thinking about it and you having to get that 1,200 kills to trigger the explosion, the winning team, we mentioned the rewards at the top of the show, Goj, but I just think people need to realize, like, we're giving a season pass per player on the winning team, plus 5 Mandel bricks and quantum keys per player. And we need to keep an eye on who is actually getting the majority of these kills, because the top 3 killers are going to be getting that Alienware 27-inch 4K 240 hertz monitor. Like,
yeah,
hello?
Yeah, no, these are real scores that we got to pay attention to for sure. And I think here's the other thing to pay attention to. Take a look at Team Blast. Obviously, Team Chaos and Team Blast have traded wins, but the massive kill totals from Lord McLaren and NYXE squads in particular, even Snow's team at 177, I mean, they're up to 790 already. We're looking for 1,200, folks. You can do the math on how long this will take. We might see them hit 1,200, maybe even in the next map or just partway through the 4th map. So watch out for that explosion. It's getting a little mixy here, and I'm excited to see which team's going to take it. We need a massive surge of kills from Team Chaos here on the right-hand side, of course, led by that Ender squad, who's the first team to breach 100 kills in total. You can see Bornakai there doing a decent job, and then Mr. Raffle Waffle squad also a pretty solid job. And frankly, with what they were able to do in the first map compared to the second, this is actually probably fairly even to Team Blast in the second map because of that stall. It was just the first map differential that's really the difference between these two teams. So if we maybe see a domination from Team Chaos in maybe our third map, all of a sudden we're even and we're playing for maybe the first to 100 kills to get to 1,200. I don't know, some fun hypotheticals, but let's take a look at where we're headed next, because things are changing, folks. As we move into our maps 3 and 4, we are headed to Threshold, Tiff, which I think will be a ton of fun for all of our players to experience.
Yeah, so many changes, right, with the new season that are coming in, especially on Threshold. You kind of teased it at the top of the show where you have the ability to collapse on a certain sector, right? So if you bring in some guided missiles, we can see that C1 sector will be the area that we have to keep tabs on, because I would love to see that kind of brought here on main. So whoever does that, we're keeping an eye out on you.
Yeah, fun new event and destructible environment. We already saw it there in the last map even of the building basically collapsing on Enders as he was trying to take a bit of cover. I think it was point, I want to say D right before our last point. So there's gonna be a lot more of that going into this map as well. And like you mentioned, there's kind of a fun event there as well. But let's take a quick look at our progress. Again, we saw all of our kills come through from the first 2 games, and it's close, but Team Blast has the advantage right now, as you can do the math yourself. We are about 60% of the way there for Team Blast, 40% of the way there for Team Chaos. So the onus of responsibility, catch up, start earning some of those in-game rewards, try to be the first team to get to 1,200. All eyes on Team Chaos to see what they can do in the next map, Tiff.
It's tough, right? Because you think about our first game of the day on the broadcast, Team Blast had 10% and Team Chaos was just lagging behind at 0%. So they were keeping them in a distance, but now, especially after game number 2, if you're down about 260, 270 kills on the board, moving into the back half, Goj, how do you even make up that gap? Because you have to get 1 or 3 kills for every one of theirs to try and jump ahead. Now, I'm not sure if that's how math works, but in my brain, that's kind of the 1 to 3 ratio that I need to go up almost 300, right?
Yeah, no, I like it. And I think when we start talking about some of those kills and we start talking about how to do it, I think the answer is you gotta defend well. That's the name of the game. And I think when I look at a team like Team Ender Squad, they absolutely can. They were dominating the last one. We're gonna be opening up our loadouts quite a bit here. We're moving into that commander mode, which we'll talk about, but we don't have restrictions on what operators you can use, what weapons you can use, or anything in between. So it's gonna get a lot more sweaty, and it's really gonna come down to what weapons did you decide to build going into the day today, and also what you're able to do on the map now that things are a bit more open. Maybe you just weren't very good with shotguns and you played on Team Chaos's team. We could see a huge shift going into game 3 with what these teams are able to do. So definitely going to be paying attention to Team Chaos to see if maybe they can defend. I think they're going to be defending first again, as we're going to swap back attack defend for both. We're going to see Team Chaos defending. They need to defend, and they need to defend for a while on just about every single point. I think it's going to be key to try to tick down those lives so they can actually win this one on defense. That's the setup they need to get a victory here in my mind. But let's talk a little bit about this commander mode that's coming with this new season, because that's what we're about to get into. What you'll see is our players, all of our players, get a chance to vote. You're gonna be able to do this when it launches in game here in just a little while. It is launching this season. This commander mode, all players get to vote on a single player they want to be the commander. Now, maybe you're selfish and want to vote for yourself. That's fine. But whoever receives the most votes is going to be the commander of the team. And Tip, this is really exciting for several reasons. One, the commander has a couple more actions they can do. They can kind of ping to their team on where they want people to go. They can literally lead the charge as the commander and make some callouts. And if you do, you earn some extra points for your team. But also, if you are killed or you kill the commander's team, or the commander rather on the other team, you receive extra points. So if you're the commander, yes, you want to lead the charge. Yes, you want to tell your team what to do. You also don't want to die. So a little bit of protect the president, if you will, in this brand new mode, which I think these players are going to have a lot of fun doing. It's protect Enders and it's protect Summit.
Oh, I like it. Look, I believe it's actually coming May 30th on the new season patch notes, so keep an eye out on it. It is going to be in that limited time mode that we've already talked about, and I love that you are already mentioning some of those things that the commander specific gets. But if you're like me, how are you going to choose that one person to be your commander? Obviously, we have ours here today, and some of the new fun things that also come alongside that is the exclusive call-in attack options that we could potentially see. Will they bring in the high-value objectives, or maybe those high-threat vehicles that we can mark with them, just so you can clarify the tactical targets that you really want your team to focus on. So everything that you can do to relay information to your squadron while you're trying to maximize your kills, of course, because we still want you to get to 1200.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it is not technically out of the question for a team to get to 1200 in this third map. That is a possibility, especially if this is a very even battle going into this map on the defense. If the defense is able to hold almost every point and then push, back to the next one and next one and really make this a longer game, there's a decent likelihood this is very possible. I mean, you're seeing some of the top scores. In NYXC, that squad is averaging over 100 kills per map at this point. I mean, they are crushing the competition. This isn't going to be too big of a deal. I think this is something that they're going to be able to do in this map if they are not careful. The other team, frankly, is not careful. So that'll be fun to watch. I think also, I think you just mentioned it too, like because you're able to earn extra points as the commander, you're going to be able to call in some extra support systems as well. We're talking more artillery strikes, potentially more guided missiles, potentially more vehicles for your team. So playing around your commander and what they're able to give to the team, I think is going to be everything going into our new map here with Threshold. So it's gonna be fun to see some new strategies kind of evolve here on May Broadcast as you all get a sneak peek at this new mode that's coming in about a month's time, like Tiff was talking about. So fun things to talk about, but right now the onus of responsibility to get to 1200 kills first. Right now, the harder, I guess, task is going to be on the side of Team Chaos, but Team Blast has that lead, pretty substantial lead, might I add, 20% lead on their opponents. They could do it this map if Team Chaos is not careful, Tiff.
Well, honestly, you kind of have to be extra careful, especially when it comes to Threshold, right? You kind of like talked about some of the vehicles, right? If you're going to throw vehicles on Threshold, you want to grab a bunch of kills. This could be a great way to deliver a big push that your team needs. And whether or not the enemy team sees that vehicle coming, they're going to basically retreat and stall out. The issue is because we're forcing people to kind of drive to get to that explosion. Plus, the more kills you get, the more chance you have to win that Alienware monitor. So we're still keeping tabs on that. Vehicles can be spooky, but sometimes they can be a lot of fun, especially if you're behind the wheel of it, behind the gun. Work with your teammates. That squad of 4 that you guys are approaching. Also, we didn't even talk about it. We're not limiting which operator people can pick here, Ghost. So do you think that we're going to see a nice split, or will people return to Viren, especially after that game where we saw them having so much fun on Viren?
Yeah, no, I think that's actually a great shout. I think operator efficiency is going to come down to what people are most comfortable with, right? And when we're starting to talk about kills and the lack of kills or being able to potentially keep people alive on the map, I mean, I think we're going to see a lot more support operators. I mean, we all know how incredibly efficient and helpful smokes are, and Stinger's kit is, well, a ton of smokes. I mean, you have the amazing kind of drone line of smoke that you can throw out for your team to cover your advances. I think that's going to be crucial for this map. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot more Stingers, but I know everybody loves a good movement operator. So yeah, sure, D-Wolf's going to be right back in the mix with his tactical sprint. Definitely Viren's going to be in the mix for people that like to play really aggressive, and I'm just excited to see what's going to happen here. But as a reminder, we've been saying it all day. Everybody's saying that, hey, an explosion is coming. And what does that even mean? Well, someone's waiting in the wings. You can see our operator here on screen is waiting to potentially blow some things up. You're not going to want to miss this, folks. When we hit 1,200 kills on either team, either of those teams is going to trigger an explosion on broadcast. I got a sneak peek of what this could be, and it's wild, Tiff. I'm excited to see which team ends up getting it.
Me too, but I'm still like kind of thinking about what we're going to see our players come through. I had a lot of fun watching Nox in game 1. Not sure if people are like, oh, I love them more than my typical operator that I've been playing with, because I still think that it has some learning, like a skill gap that we've got to get people enthralled with. But are we going to see some recon characters coming through? Maybe you want to find out more information, or you're just focused on getting the kills, which is why I think a lot of our people are doing the assault operators. You mentioned D-Wolf. Now, we did see a lot more Virens, but that's because I think we were making them play Viren with the shoddy only game. And if they're going to go back into D-Wolf and have that exoskeleton and the triple blaster, the way people have been playing around these chokes, that triple blaster plus choke equals a lot of kills, a lot of success, and a lot of fun for us to watch.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because here's the thing. I think as much as I think we'll definitely see Viren, and I think we'll see Nox, we'll see some, I think Suniva could be a play right now. I mean, pull out your shield, hold some of those chokes, help your team out. I mean, I'm really liking Suniva. I think it's a really cool operator. And then, of course, if we do see a lot of people playing Stinger with a ton of smokes, I do think a lot of folks will transition over to Luna to be able to use that recon arrow and actually pick people up through the smoke. Probably going to be pretty important, frankly. So I think a variety is always a good thing when it comes to Warfare. And so it'll be fun to see what our players are able to do as they kind of navigate through the different operators and the different metas that'll pop up even just throughout the game. Because like we've seen, every single point is different. Every single point is a different way of attacking, defending. How do you actually approach this point based on the cover that is provided? All the maps are incredibly unique. So it'd be fun to see a brand new one here with Threshold on our screen. This time into the daytime, folks. So no more squinting. No more getting jump scared by a shotgun that comes out of nowhere that you didn't see. This time around, it's going to be a little bit more open air, a little bit more daytime, but still a lot of that chaos.
Hey, that's perfect. But I love that you mentioned Luna to try and counteract some of that chaos, right? Especially with her trait enemy analysis, right? As soon as you damage someone, it's going to kind of track them. So if you're someone that needs a little bit of that extra clarification of where someone's diving to hide from, especially if you got a Nox on your team, coupling alongside that deep trauma. So if you're already hitting someone, they take longer to regen, just full send.
Full send indeed. It's time to full send into game number 3. And as we mentioned, get to vote for your commanders, and we know who everybody's voting for. We're voting for Summit, and we are voting for Enders. So it looks like Summit gonna be the commander here on one team, on Team Blast, and it's gonna be Enders on Team Chaos.
And
Could you imagine if they had pulled together and were like, wait a second, big forehead? Wait, is this what we're advocating for? It's like, vote for me, your commander here in game number 3 because of this reason.
Hear you in game. That's what I'll run on.
Wait, that's actually so cool that there's actually an election, some sort of manifesto you could put out there about why you should elect me. Big forehead works, Enders. Whatever it takes. Oh, yeah, we didn't tell you, Enders, maybe on purpose because it's hilarious, that everybody can hear you now in game because the commanders, their mics go to all of the other players on their entire team, their entire side. So he can talk to everybody on his side if he wants to. He can call him out by name and tell them where to go. The commander truly is the commander.
The president. Protect the president, and we shall prosper.
I believe it. I believe it. Protect the president, Enders, so we will prosper.
If we lose the front streets, this point will become very hard to actually defend. So run, follow your president, right? You didn't elect me via, like, actual fair vote, but here I am. Also kill the tank or we lose, but that's pretty chill.
Anders has the strats on lock. I mean, I think the last time we were casting over gameplay on this map here on main broadcast, I think it might have been a landmark on the other side that was absolutely obliterating everybody with the tank in the streets. And so I think Anders has a bit of nostalgia about that one, maybe not in a good light, to see what he's able to do this time to make sure that the tank doesn't ruin his day.
And it's just A. We're over at the hotel. Just know B, vehicles can get real spicy over there. And we talked about it. We were going to see D-Wolf, Virons come through. A lot of action, but Summit, especially if Enders' mic is going through the entire team, what happens if Summit and Enders get into another interaction?
Yeah, I think they're both kind of on opposite teams, and I think if Enders is going to yell about killing Summit, everyone will hear it on his team, which is hilarious.
Yes.
Well, Tiff, this is the top squad of the day thus far, if I remember correctly. Dominating this map as well. NYXE coming in with basically a competitive roster to show how it's done here in Warfare, and they're doing a great job thus far, frankly.
I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I don't even know how we got taken out right there, but that does happen, especially if you're going to be putting that much gunpowder down. We'll check in here with one shot Rich through the smoke. A good stinger is always a well-needed one.
There's a quick capture too, by the way. You can see A is already done and dusted, so we're moving on to B quickly. B1 and B2 active. I think these are going to be a little bit more difficult to capture. If I remember correctly, we'll see. Maybe if the team on our screen proves me wrong. But some really tight choke points getting into this one that if the other team has decent holds, they should be able to do pretty well.
Okay. I guess.
We're just in one of the hardest sites to take for free.
For free? Here. This is the one, especially when you were talking about vehicles, this is where people will try to bring them out and see what they can do, or fly a heli on the ground.
Yeah, I think unfortunately a helicopter got immediately turned over by somebody that didn't know how to quite fly that thing yet. It looks like NYXE in the kill feed is completely obliterating this lobby. I mean, this is unbelievable. They're going to be able to capture both of these almost immediately.
All right.
I'm confused.
Peekaboo.
Hello. I'm just getting capture points at this point.
Yeah, I'm sitting on B2. I literally have seen. Nope. Oh my god. I was off. Hands off my keyboard.
That's what happens when you take your hands off your keyboard. One shot, Rich. Don't you know?
Where are they?
We'll see what the defense is able to do. I'm blown away with. I mean, obviously, Indra's squad is talented. We saw them just get a win in the last map. What I can tell on the right-hand side of our screen, looking at the kill feed, it's NYXE just holding the line against nearly all 20 players on the other side, which has opened up, which One Shot Rich said near perfectly,
It is one of the hardest points to capture in the game, but NYC is dominating this map right now, able to hold down these points and let their team advance.
Hey, look, he got us trapped in our spawn here.
There's a guy right here. He's really hurt. This guy.
Yep.
There you go, Waffle. He was one shot away, almost killed him.
Oh, another one there in front of me.
Oh, nice.
Dying over and over again.
Ooh, okay. I was waiting for Commander Enders to like give out some instructions, but dude is straight locked.
This is frankly nearly unbelievable how quickly this attacking squad has been able to dominate this map. We knew they were the at least stronger team on paper. I was not expecting them to have this much dominance in this map as well. I mean, think about what we just saw from them in the beginning of our Trenchlands map. A lot of the same. They truly are, at least they've got the attack down. Defense maybe not so much, but the attack, they figured it out.
Oh, look at the flank. Look at the flank. Keep an eye on Ruffle Waffles. Someone did just try to infiltrate and challenge him on height, and he got like all of them. Wait, all but one.
Yeah, I think that might have been, it might have been Daniel. I don't know who was able to stay alive on the team, but it might get a full res on high. Ooh, wow, we are moving quickly towards our target now. Team Blast already up to 70%, obviously dominating this map. Who knows? Maybe they're going to be able to defensively be able to hold C1, C2. It's not looking like it right now. Enders is doing everything he can to try. Utter domination showing on our scoreboard down below, though. 70% for our attacking team right now, Team Blast, as they run through this map extremely quickly.
They're kind of in between C1 and C2 in the middle of the street.
Ooh, you know what I want for C1? You guys know what it is. We need to see some guided missiles.
Yeah, I don't even know if we have time for guided missiles. Attack
Probably not.
Crushing. Team Blast is actually blasting off again. Literally.
Ooh. There we go. Sometimes you just need that self-heal. Back in it. Try to outline where was that crossfire coming through. Smoke.
Look, I'm telling you, I'm a big Stinger fan, all right? These smokes so valuable, especially if you're able to pick up your team and keep, bodies on the point. We saw how valuable it is to be able to rescue, get people right back up so they don't have to full respawn, especially when the attackers have figured out how to play around the respawns and basically create choke points around those respawns so that the defense don't have a chance.
Okay, so a smoke barrage looks like has been chosen here by Summit.
Oh, I didn't use it, did I?
A lot of smoke.
There is also...
But we're walking around it. I trust Lukey here.
C2, which is...
Oh, no.
Yeah, you can also see Lukey going crazy on the point. You can hear Ender's voice because his voice is piped into every single player's game right now that's on his team. Same with Summit.
Protect your commander.
Yeah, protect your commander who just won the game. This is some extra ways. Here's a quick look, by the way, for in the commander mode, you can kind of mark things for your team, and that's going to give you some extra points. So that's how this works. And he's trying to figure out what he wants to try to call in. And there was a moment there where I thought they were going to win. Look at that. C2 was captured, but C1 has been swapped back. This is the tug of war that we sometimes talk about when it comes to warfare mode. And it looks like Ender Squad is somehow, some way trying to get right back into this thing.
I do respect this because we got a brief look at some of the cool features of this mode, right? And the new vehicle, the GTQ 35LT. Now, I'm really excited about this one. Granted, it was 10,000, so we don't have enough to bring it on in, but it can deploy autonomous UAVs for scouting and demolition. So you get all of that in your vehicle.
Yeah, great shout.
All right, tank's dead.
Vehicle's definitely valuable, and you can see Ender Squad focusing on trying to keep those tanks out of this map and able to do so. Unfortunately, Enders gets cut down by, well, frankly, one of the top teams. It's NYXE on the other side. But as expected, this is the point that I thought would be the hardest, frankly. And as expected, finally, we've made our way to what looks like a somewhat of a stalemate here, as there was a tug of war going on, but the defense has finally found their footing on these 2 points.
Ooh, the trade though, and we need as many kills as possible. And oh, there we go. All sectors fall in 11 minutes and 30 seconds. So 14 minutes less than what we saw on our last match. That was a quick one on Threshold.
Yeah, I thought maybe Lukey was going to be able to stalemate it there, and I was applauding it, but unfortunately, it was too little too late. I think a lot of those artillery strikes were coming in, and frankly, the attack just figured out this map immediately, and we're not going to give the defense any hold at the entirety of any of those choke points, which I think is the most impressive part. One of the hard parts about Threshold when it comes to attacking is how do you break through those choke points? And one of the ways to do it is by running Mach 10, fly at your opponents, cut them down before anybody else can get set up. If you can kind of push the equation before the defense gets set up, there's a chance you run all the way through this lobby and win the entire game. And that is exactly what happened on the back of NYXE, Team Summit, and everybody in between. So big shout out to Team Blast for dominating yet again on the attack. They seemingly have got this figured out. I'll be really curious to see how they do on the defense this time.
Ooh, defense. I mean, look, we've seen a lot of wins for the attacking side of things, no matter as we get to look through some of the replays from that last game and highlight the best moments that we saw. And quite frankly, this NYXE squad, I just wish I had like a 10th of their skill.
Well, we expected them to be one of the top teams today. I didn't expect them to be able to push the equation this aggressively on Threshold, but it truly did make the difference. It was even One Shot Rich. We were watching his stream for a bit, and he was like, where are the enemies? And then we look over on the right-hand corner, and the kill feed is all NYXE holding the line against the entire other team of 20 players. But some fun moments here in our commander mode. I'm really excited about this mode dropping. You got to hear, obviously, our commander's comms in everybody's ears as everybody was fighting for their lives and trying to protect the commander or protect the president, as Enders was talking about. So a fun new mode and some fun new things you can do inside that mode with your commander. So I guess you need to make a good case to be the commander because it's fun to be in charge, but it also comes with a lot of responsibility, Tiff, as you saw from the side of Summit and Enders in that game.
I don't know if I could handle the responsibility, but now I'm curious, Goj, what would be your tagline? Like, what are you running on? Because I Enders and the huge forehead thing, I'm not sure if that would get me elected if I tried to pull the same thing.
Let's see. I think I would type up an extremely long paragraph about voting for me because I am the best support player in the game. I'm not going for kills. I'm not trying to be the top fragger. I'm trying to keep every single one of you alive. Under my command, I'm in charge of making sure everyone lives and stays up. So if I'm playing support, you can go frag out and just have a blast getting kills, which is what everybody wants to do when they play Warfare. So I think I'd be a pretty good candidate, frankly, but I don't know. I think my comms would be pretty solid as well. I've watched and casted over a ton of Delta Force at this point. We've done now, I don't even know how many broadcasts here on our Delta Force official channels. So I think I'd be a pretty good candidate. What would your platform be, Tiff, that you're going to do the opposite, which is go in and fly and fry and try to get as many kills as possible? I don't know. That seems to be your playstyle.
It'd be follow me or else.
Or else.
Like,
okay,
that's it. Or else. I mean, I don't know, chat. We're linking it to you. Like, which would you guys vote for? Are you going Goj? You going with me?
Yeah, the like super kind support player or the person that threatens you to be the commander. I don't know. Both can definitely work. It depends on the type of player you are, but a fun look at the commander mode. Again, Tiff had talked about it's in our patch notes here with Eclipse Vigil season. It is coming this season. You're going to have a chance to experience it here in Warfare, I believe at the end of next month. So it's going to be in May that you'll see this brand new mode. Get a chance to sneak peek it on broadcast, which is why I love doing these Delta Force broadcasts. But anyways, we got a lot to talk about, and I think one of the big things right now is the lurking behemoth. That is the question of which team will get to 1,200 kills first, Tiff. this is what they're all playing for. There's rewards associated with that as well. So if we get a chance here while we're waiting on some of these scores and waiting for our players to get ready for what is likely going to be our final lobby, I'd like to pull up those prizes again, because again, the first team to 1200 is going to get prizes not only for their team, but they also are the team that triggers the explosion that is going to happen on broadcast. We say explosion, it's not hypothetical. An actual explosion is going to happen. You're not going to want to miss this. Here's a quick look at those prizes. Tiff talked about them at the top of the show. If your team wins, this is for all 20 players, by the way, on your winning team of Team Chaos or Team Blast, they're going to get a season pass here for Eclipse Vigil. You can see right there on the left side. In the middle, we're going to get Mantle Bricks and Quantum Keys. 5 of them, by the way, for each player. And I got to say, as an operation stand as well, myself, I'm a big Mantle Brick guy. I wish I was playing this one. And then our top 3 Slayers overall on the day are going to win a monitor with Alienware 27-inch 4K 250 hertz monitor. This is truly a gaming monitor at its finest. These will definitely help you play Delta Force at the highest refresh rate that you possibly can, and look dang good doing it as well. Great colors. I actually have a monitor, an Alienware monitor, and they rock. So definitely going to want to be a top 3 Slayer today. I can only expect at least some of, if not all of those, are going to go towards NYXC. They're at least probably leading the charge right now. But yeah, pumped to watch what to be able to see what these teams are able to do. And I want to check in on the scores as soon as we get them. We're double checking and triple checking all of our scores behind the scene, getting our players to submit scores and make sure that we've got everything good to go. But last we checked with our tracker, I believe it was Team Blast that was around 70% or so on their way to 1200 kills, whereas Team Chaos was around 40 to 50%. So lagging a bit behind, and I can only expect that margin likely is actually extended a bit with the way that map went. Tiff, were you expecting for Team Blast to dominate on attack yet again after the dominating performance they did in trench lines?
Kind of.
Fair.
It's just, let's be fair. All of our teams are navigating really well to the attacking side of things, but after game 1 on trench lines at night, just how quickly they were able to manage it. Sure, as soon as they moved onto the defense, it was more of that like kind of stall out, but that still allowed them to reap and get a ton of kills and really bolster that, because I mean, they went from a 10% lead up to that 20 to 30% that we're currently at. So it was like about a 8 to 10 minute game, and then the 25-minute game with Team Blast on defense. Now they went right back to attack. It was 11 minutes and 30 seconds, I believe. So we are just seeing pure domination. Now, if I'm Team Chaos and I want to make a stand going into the final match, well, potentially final match of the day if we get to the 1200 kills, right? How are you going to hit 1 for 4 on these kills? Grab some vehicles as soon as possible and mow them down. I want to hear that manic laughter of watching the sheer chaos come through on Threshold.
Yeah, no, it's a great shout. I think there's some actually pretty nuanced strategies for how to get a number of kills here that could get you to 1200 first if you're that far behind. Because one of the things you honestly almost can't do is you can't win the game in like 8-9 minutes. If you go full sin and obliterate your opponents, you might not get to that 1200 kills in total. So let's take a quick look at where everybody's at here, because I think Team Blast is in the lead, but how far in the lead are they? Team Summit doing fantastic, but it's Team NYXC, a part of Team Blast, that is crushing their opponents, over 300 kills in total. And this truly does show the dominance of Team Blast today, as they are only, let's say, 192 kills away going into our 4th map. I think they're probably going to hit it during this map before the end of it, Tiff.
Oh, they 100% are. And all I know is NYXE is going for the Alienware monitors. And it's just, I'm looking at the comparisons. I mean, they have doubled the amount of kills as Ender's squad. Like, how do you make up 400 kills in one game? Is that even possible?
Yeah, I think it would be extremely improbable, but definitely possible. And I think one of the ways to do that is lean on your top squad. Look, we talked about, Enders being able to talk to his team. He really needs to continue to step up here. They are doing a very good job as a squad to lead the charge in kills and also lead their teams. So if you're anybody else on the squad, I'm looking at Mr. Raffle Waffle squad also doing a fantastic job. Bornakai right behind. You've got to follow Ender's squad around, keep them alive, and go for broke at this point. Play as aggressive as you possibly can. You're now the attackers. Show me what you can do. We know you can win on attack. You did it on trench lines. Now's the time to do it here in Threshold. Look, I see you. I see you, OG Smurf. I see you, Ender Squad. You're crushing it. You're doing a fantastic job, but you need some help, and I think people need to play around you so that you guys can make a big move here in the final hour. Who knows? We could pull a miracle out of nowhere and see what you're able to do going into this last map. And again, I think 1,200 kills likely going to get hit by Team Blast during this map. So folks that are paying attention to our main broadcast here, there is going to be a massive explosion triggered on broadcast when that team hits 1,200. And I'm talking right when it hits 1,200. So it might be in the middle of the game. Tiff and I might be in the middle of conversation. And then all of a sudden, you're going to hear the sirens and something's about to happen on broadcast. So we're going to be jumping into game here shortly. Tiff, any final words for our players, especially maybe on Team Chaos, before we get into this map? I think we're just under a minute away from potentially the last map and probably only a couple minutes away from our explosion.
Well, if we're around 190 kills away from that 1,200 kill threshold, then you have got to be the one that gets the most amount of kills if you're looking for that Alienware monitor. So even if you're competing against your own team at this point, you're trying to take down that NYXE roster and be one of the top 3 kill leaders of the day, this is your chance to prove it. I don't care what it takes. I don't care that you are facing resistance. If there is a vehicle in your way, you will navigate accordingly, bring in the smoke barrages, bring in the chaos, and just focus on those kills.
Yeah, I think it's a great shout. I got to give a big shout out as well to One Shot Rich. I see you in the chat. I see you in the game. You guys are crushing it. And we had some really funny cons watching you just obliterate your opponents in the very first round of Threshold. So let's see if you can do it again on the defense side of things going into potentially our final round of the day. You guys are doing a fantastic job as well. Check out all of our streamers today, folks. We're having a ton of fun on the main broadcast, and definitely hang out here with us because you're going to see some crazy stuff in the middle of this game when our explosion gets triggered. But make sure you go check out all of our amazing streamers. We got people live all over the place, and of course, Twitch drops active all over the place. Let's hop into our final map of the day and see who gets to 1,200 first. A massive effort going to have to come from this squad and frankly this man right here to lead his team to victory, because we are back into the commander screen where all of our players get to pick for their commander. And of course, we've instructed them to say, hey, put Enders, put Summit up on top. And well, I think they're going to be able to lead their team to success.
I'm the type of guy that, you know, I got to see my general, my commander go in the front, and then I go behind him.
Yeah, I'll go out front, and then I say attack, and you guys all just go right past me, and I watch you all go get back. You know what I mean? That'd be the kind of leader I would be.
All right, so Summit, more of Attack on Titan kind of vibe. All right, I respect.
Does the entire team hear me, or is it only squad leads?
I think it's the entire team.
Oh, that's a
entire team.
I think it's everybody. Yeah, Ender.
Oh, we all hear you.
The whole lobby on your side of things can hear your voice if you talk in game, which is one of the things I love about this game.
Versus a vehicle player on the enemy team. Kill the vehicle. And we win. Or it'll be a lot easier.
Yeah, that was the entire last game.
All right, the onslaught begins. Our players are ready, and they're running off into the warfare. They're ready for action. This first point can be a little tricky to break through, so you got to follow your commander. Try to find an entry point. Once you find an entry point, everybody's got to swarm in. Do not give the defense any moment to breathe.
Oh, we breaking out snipers? Okay. I mean, this tracks with what he was saying about his commanding style. We scout, we call, we say, full send.
Well,
but actually, you really don't have to full send. You're defending, so
yeah,
don't overextend.
They only need 192 kills, which sounds like a lot if you haven't played Warfare a ton, but it's actually not that much when you think about 20 players trying to play for that. Yeah, you can do the math. That's not very many kills. It's less than 10 per person on average, and we know some of our top slayers are going to get a lot more than that. So
I have 250 ping, so good luck.
There we go. Right here. Let's see what One Shot Rich is going to be able to do. Mr. Raffle Waffles there is still on screen as well. Going to help out Ender's squad. Lukey playing these flanks. Working out for him well so far. And here's a quick look at Luna, by the way. We talked about the efficiency of Luna in Warfare when a lot of other folks are running Stinger. And oh, okay. We see you, Lukey. Keep cooking.
Oh, the betrayal. Commander Enders. Okay, let's see what you've got. Final one right there. And I love that we're just reassessing our situation. But look at that. We're lurking. We're getting closer and closer to 1,200 kills here, Ghost. So we've got to tease it as that explosion's getting lined up.
Overload activated.
Yeah, that operator was lying in wait to trigger that thing.
I'm waiting.
And remember, we only need 192 start of this game, but Ender's putting on a show for us with a pistol. Whatever it takes, my friend. You got to do what you got to do. See a couple vehicles trying to get some flanks here. Again, this first point is quite difficult to capture. And if we're not careful, we might expend most of our lives, if not all of them, on this first point. Our defense is doing a really good job of holding the far right side flank right here from NYXE. I think they know what they're doing. I think they've done this before, Tiff.
You would think. Definitely. Ooh, okay. Let's see how we're gonna navigate through this smoke, and just a couple shots out towards the left. Some utility coming on in, especially if you're gonna go overload for the next 25 seconds and grabbing that kill with it through the cross. Come on, the hits are connecting. You get the long shot. Demon mode.
Launching grenade.
This is a strategy we don't often see when it comes to Threshold. Most players just kind of stick to the point and hold the point. But NYXE is basically telling their team, hey, you guys hold the point. We're going to go hunting. And it's paying off because what they're doing is weeding the numbers out as anyone tries to advance to the point, which means any attack on the point is going to be so much weaker because of, frankly, this guy on your screen right now and his squad.
He's dead. Good. So none of my keys are working. That's good. Thanks, Dad.
They're trying to nerf you.
I keep trying to
oh no.
So we can get at least
something happened to Lukey. I don't know what it was, but he is
like an off angle.
I don't think happy about it, and
we should be able to move up a little bit.
I love the reaction on main broadcast, but here's a look at Mr. Raffle Waffle Squad. Oh, okay.
I killed 2.
Wait a minute.
Come on, team. Come on. Oh.
Smoke barrage ready.
I killed a Breaking Bad actor. I'm so sorry. You would kill me in real life, I bet you. Oh my god.
You would kill me in real life? Maybe on a movie set where it's scripted. Hello?
He wiped out an entire building.
Dang it. It's okay.
So the tank spawn should be up pretty soon again. If it's not up.
Can we talk about the player that just went rogue on the four-wheeler, just out towards the left? Sometimes you just need to be able to move. Sniper coming through, but Lukey's gonna be able to defend it quite nicely, just picking people apart. Nice double.
Somewhere, like maybe on the far right side where everyone's already kind of grouped up right now. You guys want to spawn in that uncap?
El peor es que cuando te bajan te quita mucho tiempo. Ahora van por izquierda, güey, gasolinera.
Ah, sí, güey. No mames, ya me mataron. Ah.
A quick look at several of our players. As a reminder, that Tabra player you saw on your screen was the one that was able to drop the guided missile and win the last time around. So let's see if they're able to pull it out here at the late part of this one. But look at the bottom middle of our screen here. Snow doing a great job on their stream. But Team Blast is up to 90% already. Uh-oh. We are in trouble, folks. You can do the math. That is nearly, I think, around 120 kills that they need at most, if not a bit past that they need. It's going to be close. They actually might get it right at the end of this map if they're able to truly defend this first point. Look how many lives are left, Tiff. 77 lives left. It's going to be that close. They might win and trigger the explosion right at the end of this map once they've completely eliminated the attacking squads.
Do like a...
Oh, so you have to use your credits to go ahead and grab those orders. Light tactical vehicle, if we can bring it in, looking for a set drop point, gets it in, especially if you're looking over your team with that SV98. And honestly, there's nothing nicer than just seeing some sick snipes. And I think we caught that dude's shoulder, but we're looking for a face, and that'll do.
Yeah, it just makes sense. I mean, I've known someone to hit a few shots on main stage before, and he's going for some trick shots because he knows his team's got this on lock. Unfortunately, somebody pushes the equation. That's Julie for the side of Mr. Raffle Waffle Squad. And a quick trade here from Mr. Booker DeWitt. Quick rescue. They've got their commander on lock. Don't let him go down. This extra points for the other team.
Mano, matar é tipo super trunfo, velho.
Let's see where we're heading, but definitely looking for our next. Oh! Stop. I thought we were about to crunch that man, have to get out and do it ourselves. No, we're going down, but it was a valiant effort.
No. This NYXC squad, they are menaces. I'm not going to lie. They are running into enemy spawn, trying to splatter people. Here's a quick look at some of our kills. And mathematically, woo, we are very close. You saw the spread. Several players over 20 kills. Average of being pulled. We need less than 10 per person on average. I think we are extremely close. I'm getting word from production that I think they only need like 40 kills left right now on our tracker. And there's 48 lives. I think this is likely going to trigger right at the end of this point or right before the end of this point if the attackers don't get a move on here. And even if the attackers do capture point A and get to point B, like, I think it'll trigger probably like here in the next minute or so as long as the defense is able to hold here.
There's a couple over there.
Yeah, there's a
ton. A respawn beacon right here. Fuck it.
Okay, good.
Respawn beacon.
I'm gonna use my Uluru rocket. Here we go.
What up?
Oh!
I think we had a full, modicum of different operators being used there. I think it was Booker DeWitt in the background saying he was going to use the Uluru kind of like mini guided missile that he's got on his kit, which is fun. People having fun here on the broadcast, but with only 24 lives remaining and frankly,
it's just
around 20 kills needed. This is I think we're about to see an explosion. Our operator is standing by to start this explosion off. NYXC, one of the main reasons for it. Everybody buckle in here on main broadcast. It's about to get crazy. 20 lives remaining, and well, frankly, Team Blast is dominating this lobby as they have the last couple.
Vou pegar o quadriciclo e enfiar lá na base. Vai dar overtime, hein? Deixa eu dar.
Ooh, okay. 5 more seconds till you gotta pop into this forward sector, but we're trying to get cheeky and play into it. We wanted to be the top fraggers of the entire day here and just put on a show, assert that dominance that we've been wanting to see. And cohesively, it's phenomenal to see it pay off.
Well, these are the last couple sections, I guess rather moments in time, and not even sections of the map, because there are 12 lives remaining. We're trying to make a push to this point, but the defense is just, frankly, too strong. Running out of lives, and I think only 5 to 8 left in total for the amount of kills needed to be able to trigger this explosion. It's going to be Team Blast that triggers this explosion. It's just a matter of time. Point A is going to hold. Team Blast is not only going to win this game, I think they are going to trigger this explosion. They're going to trigger it here shortly. The final kill. Team Blast has started this explosion.
Cooked again, man.
Blow it all up. That was so sick. I love to see such ingenuitive concepts here with Delta Force. Team Blast truly did blast this entire event apart. They have won the competition and they triggered this insane explosion on broadcast. Big shout out to Team Blast. They were even in the video there. So dang cool, Tiff.
It really was. Congratulations to Team Blast as we get to see some of our players looking through it and reacting to the Delta Force chat. Oh, hi. Hello, Metal Gunner. And I'm so glad you had a pleasure playing with OG Smurf.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have a pleasure playing with OG Smurf as well. Obviously, a great player from Team Chaos there on Ender's squad, but Team Blast just, they dominated. It frankly wasn't that close at all. They got to 1,200 at the very end of that game, which I thought was extremely surprising. So big congratulations, Team Blast. I believe we've got them as the winners, but that also means they've won a ton of prizing as well. So I'm really excited for them to see some in-game prizes, and I'm really pumped to see after our math has been mathed of who our top 3 Slayers are here, Tiff, on our Delta Force broadcast. Here's a quick look back on that map and frankly the domination of Team Blast to be able to hold those points and hold, frankly, that first point, and NYXE being able to play around with the vehicles and have a dang good time doing it. Ender's squad, they really tried hard, and we had some really cool moments from them. Ender's, frankly, this squad was putting on a show for us today. Lukey, who had been dominating today with some great plays like this, just couldn't quite piece it all together.
Oh, and Ender's here starting things out with the commander. He's like, we take down the vehicle. We don't get spawn trapped. You just keep fragging. And well, when you're looking like that before getting traded out, it's nice. But NYXE at the top all day.
Yeah, these guys have got hundreds, if not thousands of hours in Delta Force, and it paid off. Mr. Raffle Waffles, though, big shout out to him and his squad. Had a great day today as well. But Summit put on a show for us. He knew there wasn't a huge burden of responsibility to get a ton of kills for his team, so he's picking up a few here and there with the sniper showing his efficacy with some longer range weapons after our shotgun match, and finally one shot rich there at the end. Some great streamers a part of today's broadcast, a great event, and again, utter domination from our good friends there at Team Blast. Very well done, Summit squad and everybody on that team. And then, of course, NYXE. This whole squad, I mean, this whole group of 5 squads really all did fantastic to be able to listen to their commander and also get the wins, Tiff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the way I'm looking at it, personally, Goj, you and I, if we were commanders at this point in time trying to lead our teams, I'm not sure who would come out on top. I'm going to say that it was a definite fair chance. It might have been a bit closer than what we witnessed on our broadcast today, your tactical guides and then my aggressiveness. But regardless, Team Blast on top for the day. Let's go ahead and look and see just how close it was in 12:08 to 7:45. Okay.
Yeah, look, I gotta tip my hat to Ender's squad over there. I see you guys in chat, OG, Smurf, Crook, and everybody else. Really well done. 182 total kills. Would have been in the top 4 or so for the side of Team Blast and led your team over there for Team Chaos, but it truly was utter domination. Take a look at that 12:08, like you said, for Team Blast. NYXE on top, leading the charge pretty significantly with 372 total kills. This is unbelievable score lines. It was very self-evident that they had been grinding warfare, knew exactly how to hold all the choke points, how to break through the choke points. The big shout there. Obviously, Summit Squad also achieving over 143 kills. So here's a look at all of our winning teams from the day. Here are our 5 winning squads on the side of Team Blast. Obviously, Summit, Fleurs, Booker DeWitt, Louise, thanks for joining us. You guys crushed it today. I can only imagine, though, Tiff, NYXE, that squad right there with Wag, Sirent, Rasta, they dominated today. I can only imagine at least 2 out of 3 top Slayers on the day have got to come from this squad, if not all 3.
I know, we got to keep tabs on that, but I love that we've got our champions here. Congratulations yet again, the winning team getting that season pass, 4 Eclipse Vigils, the 5 Mandel Bricks and Quantum Keys per player. It's just amazing what we're going to be able to see them do with that, especially if not only do they love warfare, if they're operations grinders, having all of those resources will be so fun to use.
Yeah, it was really fun to see a huge amount of different ways that you can get involved in this event, from operators to weapons to everything in between, and that quick look at that brand new Commander game mode that's a part of our upcoming season. Now let's take a look at our top Slayers on the day. Is it what we expected? And hey, I see a familiar face in there. Sure, NYXE, Siren, and Wag, we see you. You did a job well done. You are our top players of the day. But Enders was able to sneak into that second place spot, was our top fragger from, of course, Team Chaos, and second top fragger overall on the day with 123 kills by himself. Look, the guy said he's got a sickness. He can only compete. He can only frag. And apparently, that is definitely the case even today on main stage. Your team might have had a couple frustrations, but you yourself, yeah, you fragged out, my friend. Very well done. You're going to be receiving a monitor, all courtesy of Delta Force. Really excited to have you a part of the show and a part of the broadcast. Here's a quick look at that pricing tip. Break it down for me, as again, there have been a lot of things exchanging hands, and one of those things, of course, the monitors, but also all of our in-game rewards for the top 20 players on the winning side.
Huge. And I love that you get 5 Mandel bricks and quantum keys per player. So that's where that X times, you know, the 100 quantity of is going towards Team Blast. And like we said, that Eclipse Vigil season pass that you're going to be gifted for every player on Team Blast. Like we were talking about, Nox is going to be at level 15. So if you're going to be the winner of that, go ahead, unlock Nox right away, test him out into the operations mode, see how you really like a lot of his kit. Maybe it's something that you feel comfortable with and you want to log in, or maybe you still want to keep grinding Viren or a recon operator, whatever fits your playstyle.
Yeah, I love that breakdown. Definitely check out all the brand new things coming this season. But before we close out today's show, I had a blast with you, Tiff, as per the usual here in the broadcast. Any final words for us here in the broadcast? Because, again, we got a sneak peek on all things Eclipse Vigil in this brand new season. There's a lot more coming down the line with Delta Force. I think we might be seeing you in just a couple days' time.
Hey, I hope so. We're going to be having a lot of fun with a variety of our regions, a ton of creators, and just seeing how that they adapt to Nox and a lot of the changes, especially with the nighttime modes coming throughout. And Operation Zero Dam, I haven't gotten to test that out yet. I want to dive into it and see the new modes that they released along with the nighttime version of it to see just how everything has adapted and, you know, test my aim in the dark.
Yeah, I love it, Tiff. Thank you so much for joining us, and definitely go test your aim in the dark and maybe use Nox as well. Like you said, it's great to have you, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you very, very shortly. Thanks so much for joining us. Folks at home, job's not done for me in the booth because I've got a couple things to remind you. We had a great day checking out Warfare and checking out this brand new update. And if you enjoyed what you saw, if you enjoyed maybe some of the new update and content pieces that you got to see throughout the day today, you need to go download Delta Force right now for multiple reasons. Now, let me break them down for you. One, you can play on PC, whether it's through the official launcher down below, whether it's on Steam, Epic Game Store, whatever you want. We all know it. We're all loving it. We're playing PC. But also, it's mobile time, folks. Delta Force has officially launched as on mobile, allowing for cross-platform progression. You can experience this ultimate AAA FPS on mobile, where you can immerse yourself in some fantastic, almost PC-level graphics quality. I want to see all of you mobile content creators out there, or people that just love playing the game, comparing the two graphics. It's unreal how close they are, and it can even run on some really old devices. I think they even showcased it on an iPhone 6, being able to play Delta Force Mobile. So definitely check it out on mobile. Cross progression is truly a nuanced addition to this partnership between mobile and the PC version. So definitely go get it. Also on, of course, Epic Games PC, but on the iOS or Android Google Play Store. Go get involved in Delta Force now. And make sure to follow Delta Force on all major socials, folks. This is super important because maybe you liked what you saw today. Maybe you wished you were competing today and you thought, man, I could have made Team Chaos win if I just was involved. Well, pay attention to socials, especially that Discord. Go join the Discord and follow on all major socials. We are live all over the place today, and we'll be live all over the place for now several days into the future. More events this week you're not going to want to miss, and the only way to get involved or watch them here on the broadcast is by following and getting the notifications about it. So YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, X, wherever you want to watch your broadcast, definitely drop a follow and join that Discord to potentially be involved. And again, Twitch drops are active, of course, here, but also on all of our streamers' platforms. So maybe if you're watching Enders, who was our second top fragger on the day, or maybe you're watching Summit throughout the day play with his team, they've got Twitch dropped active, and if they stay alive, it's still going to be active. And there's other streamers out there maybe not competing in this event that are active out there. So go check out all the Twitch drops you can earn. Look at all of these rewards below. It's actually unbelievable the amount of things that you can earn. And there's also a ton of rewards for the mobile version as well. It also can be used on PC. You can unlock 5 operators with just a 7-day sign-in streak, and over 148 exclusive weapon appearances, 21 vehicle appearances, and an over 270 other rewards through in-game events that are happening in the actual game itself. So a ton of ways to earn rewards watching with Twitch drops here on Twitch and all of our streamers, but also just by signing into the game. It's insane. Okay, so go check it out. Mobile, everything in between. One of my favorite parts about mobile is that you can actually play it wherever you are. It's on your phone. Coffee break battles, travel skirmishes, dive into the fray across devices with no barriers with that cross progression. So a lot going on in the Delta Force ecosystem. This brand new season brings a ton of brand new content and of course the mobile version of the game. So if you haven't checked it out, now's a great time to do so. Folks, that's all I've got for you here in the booth. And a reminder, we couldn't do it without you, the viewer. So thanks for tuning in. We've got a couple more broadcasts this week, so you're gonna want to stay tuned to all those socials. But as I send us off, that explosion video was so dang cool. So let's take one more quick look at it and some highlights for the rest of the day. And I'll see you in the next show.
Nerveless here. Real nice way of working these. Like, yeah, just me, my weapon, and my leopard.
Still tank again, far behind, but pretty evident Team Blast is leading the charge in this very first round. So
It's like I'm staying on the cap.
he was battling for his life here on the edge. Oh, okay, picking up a couple.
Well, that's a shotgun. We'll take that one. Still shoulder peeking in the trenches.
Neutralized objective Bravo 2.
Not phased. Flicks or top tier?
Yeah, we were talking to DMs and talking about you can call it in kind of your support systems menu. And oh, all right, V-Hunks. Nice. Tally getting ticked back towards the defense. Ender's gonna have to get involved, and he's gonna do that by playing over the top. All about this point, and I think vehicles helping and artillery strikes being called in. We're kind of getting to the part of this map now, especially as we start to see our lives. Oh. We'll hear it on his team, which is hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy right here. He's like, he's really hurt. This guy.
Yep.
There you go.
Looking like it right now. Enders is doing everything he can to try.
Oh no!
Yeah, you can also see Lukey going
over.
They only need 192 kills, which sounds like a lot if you haven't played Warfare a ton, but it's actually not that much when you think about 20 players trying to play for that so far. And here's a quick look at Luna, by the way. We talked about the efficiency of Luna in Warfare when a lot of other folks... And remember, we only need 192 start of this game, but Ender's putting on a show for us. Launching grenades! This is a strategy we don't often see.
Sometimes you just need to be able to move. Sniper coming through, but Lukey's going to be able to defend it quite nicely.
You're able to truly defend this first point. Look how many lives are left, Tiv. 77 lives. We need like 40 kills left right now on our tracker. And this point, if the attackers don't get a move on here, and even if the attackers do capture point A and get